Fuck.
What's up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going? Healthy Warrior Damon.
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
Fella.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
And now, it's time. Introducing Fighting one half of the legendary podcast team, the IIRonics. I'm at Ref Marsh. This is WOTR, the show. That's right. This is Wrestling on the Rocks, where every show is the first show, and every episode is episode 1. Again, with me, as per usual, half the time at least.
Sometimes.
Kevlar on the Rocks. Go say that, Kevlar.
What's up, guys? I'm Kevlar on the Rocks with an X. Don't put that CKS shit on my name.
That's a good point.
Something like
You've
that.
always said get the CKS out. You've always said that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Well, a long time of that. Well, Kev, we're doing it. We got another one down, another one going. I'm glad you made it this week. We briefly talked about last week. You couldn't make it because of a family birthday. Did it go off without a hitch?
Sure. Why not?
All right. Good, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, it was a good time.
How many arrests?
Only 3 this time.
Below par. That's awesome. It's fantastic.
I know. We're getting better.
Getting better every week. Every year, another one down. It's just because the sentences are getting longer, I think.
Yeah.
Kev, it's good to have you back, man. I'm happy to have you.
Thanks.
You got to watch everything this time?
Yeah, of course.
You all ready on you all hyped up for what do they call it? Hell in a Cell coming up?
Whatever that fucking pay-per-view is that's coming up.
Yeah. WrestleMania Hell in a Cell?
Yeah, right. Kind of, I guess. Ooh.
Yeah.
Crack open a cold one.
Mixed feelings on it. I am having today, let's start with what's in your glass. I'm having a Coors Light, man. Turns out I've been doing keto, and I wanted to throw it out there. Turns out Miller Lite and Coors Light are both keto friendly, as long as you don't have 12. So,
oh, it's bullshit.
I know. But all straight booze is good. Yeah, all the other boozes is good, but I had at this point it'd been months since I had a beer, and I was all like, God, I just want a beer so bad. And so we looked into it, and I was like, holy shit, there are options for that.
You found a loophole.
I found a loophole. Those sons of bitches. Kev, what's in your glass?
I'm actually having, for Nikki Cross, a pint-sized hurricane. I didn't have grenadine, so it's not very red. But, yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. Definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
Definitely should have
Little
put
rum.
the koozie on before I opened the beer.
Yeah, I was thinking of actually adding blue carousel, so it's blue for Nikki.
That's true.
Little
She's wearing a lot of
Scotland
blue on her gear.
reference. Yeah, Scotland, blue and white flag.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. It makes sense why it's on her gear. All right, man, I'm getting situated. We didn't have the producer at the start, but I'm sure you heard her yelling a second ago. We got started on time, as always, 30 minutes late. What? On time, as always, 30 minutes late. That's our motto. That's what we live by. That's why we're episode 1, because we can't get it right. We won't move on until we get it right. We are perfectionists here, and we're terrible at it.
Yeah. Flat and simple.
Yeah. No whistles on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I've been seeing people go crazy about podcasts lately on Twitter, complaining about this and that, saying a lot of people think that there's something special for having a podcast. And I've really put it out there as much as we can that we're just a couple of we're just people who just want to drink and talk wrestling and have a good time about it. Like, why is it got to be so difficult and complicated for people? Why do they got to get all high and mighty about stuff? People hang out with us? Cool. They don't? Sweet. We're still here hanging.
Not making money. Not here to make money.
Yeah, we're here to have time. You know what I don't think people understand? Correct me if I'm wrong, Kev, but as adults, a lot of stuff happens scheduling-wise. And it's really hard to see your friends. During the pandemic, it was also hard to see your friends. What doing a podcast does for us is it forces us to carve out time once to twice a week to make sure we get a chance to catch up with our friends and see what's going on.
Yeah. It forces us to hang out with each other.
Is that so bad? So I'm just thanking everybody for coming through who wants to hang out with us and have a drink with us. Over here at the dive bar of the IWC. Is there any news that you want to talk about while I pull up some stuff?
Not that I can think of.
You know what you didn't get a chance to talk about? So I'll throw it out here with you now, and while I kind of pull up stuff. They released 6 people last week.
Oh.
They released Braun Strowman, Aleister Black, Ruby Riott, Santana Garrett, Buddy Murphy, and there was one more. I don't think I have it. Oh wait, no, that's him. Oh, and Lana.
Yeah.
Strowman, Lana, Santana Garrett, Aleister Black, Ruby Riott, Buddy Murphy. What do you think about all that?
I'm a little surprised by, the 3 big ones, obviously. Like Buddy, we haven't seen in a while, so him and Aaliyah must have broken up. And, Lana, Braun Strowman, and Aleister have been, pushed recently. They've been on TV.
Yeah, I was blown away by Aleister Black and Braun Strowman because, for one, Aleister Black on the day of his release still had a T-shirt on pre-order. It wasn't even available in shop yet. It was a pre-order shirt, and he was released. It is available now, and it is in the shop now. And they just put on the auction. Because I'm always checking out the WWE auction. You never know what you're going to find in there. Sometimes, that's how we've gotten a handful of our Rob Schambergers. Shout out to Rob Schamberger. But on there right now is a signed Aleister Black shirt that just appeared today. And it's like, God damn, man. Like,
See, it's what people don't realize, and everyone's shitting on WWE for releasing people, but that's their 401k plan right there.
Oh, I mean, it's just forever going to be paying out.
Yeah.
That's true. There's got to be something to do with their royalties where, because I know WWE owns that stuff, but they're still like representative of somebody.
Well, yeah, they get a cut of it. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. And probably in perpetuity. I don't understand contracts, but if you ask me, they're making millions for life now, as long as the WWE ever sells their products ever.
Yeah. As long as they sell millions and millions of Aleister Black t-shirts. He's good.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. I mean, Braun Strowman just beat Shane McMahon in WrestleMania. They don't typically put WrestleMania matches together with Shane McMahon for no fucking reason. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. The thing that gets me with these is, obviously we don't know shit, but I almost want to say there had to be something that happened backstage Like something behind the scenes where, hey, we're gonna let these guys go because of it.
I don't know, man. It. You know what it really boiled down to, as far as I could tell, is just wild speculation across the board from everyone in every direction because it makes no sense. There's been a lot of times when they've released people and you go, oh yeah, well I guess they haven't used them in almost a year. It's probably for the best, all that stuff. But most of these talent were on TV this week.
Yeah.
Or the week that they
or
got
the week
lost.
they got. Yeah.
Yeah. The week they were released, they were all on TV. So it was kind of like real bizarre in that sense. So a lot of speculation out there. There was speculation that it means that WWE is getting ready to sell, which I think is very curious because we were talking about it. But when you weren't on last week, I brought it up that they added some members to the board of directors, which I thought was suspicious in that they're not like wrestling personalities. They're big time sports personalities. They're big times like merger kind of people who are known for mergers and acquisitions type things. The kind of positions they're opening up on their website, because we're always looking at what jobs are open over there. They're putting in things like part-time temporary accountants that are remote. Like, we just need someone to crunch a bunch of numbers now and fast and for a short period of time. So it was just really curious, and I was like, it seems like something's going to happen. I don't know anything about sale, but I did say I wouldn't be surprised if they start doing things like what the Henson Productions did, which was start breaking it up into smaller chunks and kind of selling ownership, leasing rights type of stuff towards multiple companies. You know what I mean? Like really broadening the concept of the legacy of the WWE and its outreach as far as like, boom, we're going to make sure we're, as they said, in the fabric of society forever. You know what I mean? Like, so it was funny to me that no one was saying that. And then they release Braun Strowman, and then everybody goes, well, this is clearly a business move, and they're trying to sell. I was like, what? What does Braun Strowman have to do with any of that?
He was the deal breaker.
Yeah, that was it. They're like, well, what are they supposed to do without Braun Strowman?
Yeah.
How do they even last as a company? You're going to want to open up the chat window. It's just occurred to me, I haven't had the chat window up. We don't have the other chat window up, so nobody knows what's happened in the chat up until now. So if anybody's currently in the chat now and you said something in the chat previous, go ahead, copy, paste it, put it back, because we're not going to be able to see it otherwise. We've made a critical error. It's okay. There's no producer, so...
I just got in. You started it without me.
Oh, my God. Do you hear what I got to deal with, Kev?
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Oh yeah, we're gonna probably have an issue too. You're gonna want to probably hit up on the headphones and change that to multi, and see if it breaks everything. So good luck to us all. Godspeed. Here we go. But anyways, I just want to know what you thought about it. But yeah, it's definitely wild.
Like I said, they were kind of surprising because they were on TV. You know, like you said, the week of their release, and it's weird. Like those three got a decent push as of late, and now they're gone. Yeah. I do think it's hilarious that everyone that I've seen was like, "Oh, they're going to AEW," and it's like, at this point, how much of AEW is just old WWE guys?
Yeah, I think there's and how much can AEW actually absorb? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most people have been complaining for a long time that WWE had a most incredibly bloated roster, and that was the problem. They could never use all these people. At this point, WWE has a much leaner roster of people they're using consistently, and AEW has a much bigger roster with less actual TV time. They got a ton of YouTube time, but they got a lot of talent they're not showing there either. So it's just interesting to me that, you know, oh, how the turntables, they say. Lee Moonlight coming through. Cheers to Lee Moonlight.
Cheers.
And Justin coming through. I don't see him in there. I don't know how you saw him. So cheers.
In Twitch.
I'm in Twitch. I don't see him in there. What the hell's going on here? Oh, you had the Twitch window open. Oh.
I got it all, baby.
All right, so what did we miss?
Dude, just saying cheers.
Oh, good Lord. Stopped the whole show for that. If you guys want to derail the show, have a good time, have a drink with your drinking buddies, you can find us at twitch.tv/WrestlingOnTheRocks.
I mean, it's not mandatory. You don't have to derail. They could just chill.
I swear to God,
No.
it feels like everyone just derails.
Yeah.
You talk about ours before?
Let you
Not yet. What were you
let
saying,
your
Kev?
presence known.
Yeah. Yeah, not only should you derail the show, but I don't think that anyone has not actively tried to derail the show. So, keep on par, keep on brand as they do. I was trying a new lighting thing, and it's harder to tell from here, but it looks like it's probably pretty dim. So we're going to call this one From the Dungeon. Kev, let's do a couple cheers for some birthdays. What?
I was going to say the Shark Family Dungeon.
Yeah. Shark Family Dungeon.
Yeah.
Stir Shark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, let's see. There was a couple birthdays. I wanted to say cheers to a couple people, and then I want to tell you about our sponsor, Kev, because you don't know about our sponsor yet. And then we're going to get into the show as far as the breakdown.
We're finally getting sponsors.
Oh, we're doing it. We're big time, baby. So birthdays. We got a birthday cheers for 2 from yesterday. Kayla Braxton and Mick Foley, hardcore legend. Both had birthdays yesterday. Cheers to you. Happy belated, and we hope that you guys had a good time. Mick Foley has a new biography on A&E that they put out, I believe it was 2 weeks ago. Absolutely incredible. So check that out. Kayla Braxton on the bump every week. Can't miss. Talking smack all the time. One of the best shows on the Peacock Network exclusives. Just because of her back and forth with Paul Heyman is always priceless. So cheers to both of them.
Did you have to say it like that? The Peacock.
Yeah, you got to whip out the Peacock. You got to rub the bump.
Mm-hmm.
The Moonlight says, ooh, kinky. Oh, wait. Wait, that should... Do I got my Bad Dragon sticker out? That's the one sponsor we've been fighting for the longest and can't seem to get. Baddragon.com for anybody interested. We don't have a promo code from them, but we're getting close. We're getting damn close. Today,
we're knocking on the back door.
We're on the back door on that one. I do. Oh, and then today, Liv Morgan had a birthday. So cheers and happy birthday, Liv Morgan.
Cheers, Liv.
All right. Kev?
Yes, sir.
We got ourselves a goddamn sponsor around here.
All right. They're making us quit drinking?
No. It's actually a drink that we can all drink because we got a sponsorship from New Wave Coffee, NOOWAVE.co, newwave.co for New Wave Coffee. They're sponsoring the show now. If you put in the promo code CHEERS, you'll get an additional 10% off the top of their already ongoing sale on all things on their site, including now subscriptions. Before it only worked on single items. Now it works on subscriptions. You'll get your first bag of coffee for an additional 10% off. Right now, their sale is for like close to 30% off, not quite. And then with our 10%, makes it closer to like, I think 250%, doing my Steiner math correctly, which gives you a 33.3% chance of enjoying the coffee 180% more.
Yep. Nailed it.
You're not mathing right, but okay.
No, I Steiner mathed it all out.
If Scott Steiner taught us anything, it's how to do math.
Yeah. Can you double check those numbers real quick?
Mm-hmm. Looks good to me.
All right. Well, I mean, checks out. It checks out. But New Wave Coffee has L-theanine, and raw cacao, which is it's infused for productivity and creativity. It's slotted to promote better energy, focus, and mood, more so than a regular cup of coffee, while decreasing the negative side effects like anxiety and blood pressure. I'll tell you, Kev, I really liked this coffee. I tried it first, and I liked it so much I reached out and said, hey, is there any way we could, like, do anything? Like, this is just awesome coffee, and I want it to be okay for me to shout it out. And he said, not only can you shout it out, he goes, let me go ahead and sponsor the show, give you guys a promo code, give all your listeners a little bit more off the top, and let's do this together. And I thought that was just absolutely awesome, man.
Hell yeah. Well, cheers. Thank you, New Wave Coffee.
Yeah. Cheers to New Wave. And a quick little side note about the company as well. It's owned and operated by an indie wrestler out of Florida who was trained by Lance Storm. So if you get this coffee, you're actually promoting indie wrestling as well as us. So fantastic. Nice. And he's running the whole show, man. It's all him. I met the guy out in New York a number of years ago, and that's why I knew about the coffee and wanted to try it out. And then when I tried it, I was like, okay, this is something special. So just want to throw that out there, man. We got ourselves a sponsorship.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
Sweet.
I don't think I have shit else for news, guys. Real quick, if you guys like X-Pac, if you guys like me, if you guys like refs, this week on X-Pac's podcast through his Patreon only, an exclusive video, I got the chance to interview Jimmy Corderas today, and it's going to be on there next week. So, actually at the end of this week. So check it out. Join the Patreon. See what it's like when a goofy ref like me gets to talk to a legit ref like Jimmy Corderas.
Nice.
Dude. Yeah, I don't have anything else news. I'm looking. I don't got nothing. So let's just get into it, man. Let's talk Smackdown.
Oh, wait. We do have news.
What's up?
Atlanta,
CWF. TWHF? CWF, I believe. Out of Atlanta with David Marquez. They made an announcement of a venue. They're going to be using Center Stage out in Atlanta, which is a big historical venue. But they haven't said when or how much any of that stuff is. So stay posted. Follow them on Twitter. It's going to be a good show. If David Marquez is involved, you know it's going to be good. So he's doing big things out there. NWA just had a pay-per-view this weekend. It sounds like Mickie James is surprisingly a part of NWA all of a sudden. Shocker.
Nice.
She's going to be producing an all-women's pay-per-view through NWA. All right, well, good. I thought you might have an opinion on that. Apparently not.
Has she ever produced a show before?
I don't know. She might have done some on the indies, but they don't have like a huge
they say
women's
when-
roster either, so.
Did it say when that show might occur?
No, but they did say it's going to be called Empower. So. We'll see. I don't think it'll be bad, but I don't know how much. They're charging a lot for a lot of stuff, man. So I just haven't been watching just because it's all behind a paywall, and from what I've seen, it seems good, but it doesn't seem like I'm going to pay for it. So
I didn't realize it had that larger roster.
I don't think it does. I think they're going to borrow people. Serena Deeb dropped her title, the NWA title, back into the NWA to Camille Brickhouse. We'll talk about that on Thursday, though. Just because I know Kev doesn't watch it, so he's not going to have an opinion on it. And what the hell, you know?
I just hope she picked it up.
Yep.
Have something, pick it up.
Yeah. Kev, what did you think of SmackDown this week?
It's pretty good.
Yeah, not too shabby.
Yeah.
Not too shabby. All right, let's move it along. About Raw, maybe?
All right, so Raw. All right, let's go, guys.
Yeah. So SmackDown opened up with Roman cutting a promo about the Usos, how they got to do what they say they're going to do. I like Roman telling Paul Heyman to get his cousins out there, and Paul Heyman just goes to the edge of the ropes. Usos music now! Play the Usos music right now! Like just screaming at the timekeeper like he's in charge of that. So funny. But then the Usos come out. Roman asks Jimmy to acknowledge him, and he goes, I thought I did that back in Hell in a Cell. Don't you remember all that? And he goes, but it's not even about that. And then like they did their whole promo, which was so dope. And then Roman kind of gave him a look and walks out of the ring with his hands in his pockets, which I thought was really fucking cool because you don't see guys with their hands in their pockets very much on TV. So it kind of really showed a lack of concern for Jimmy. You know what I mean?
It's groundbreaking wrestling.
In a sense,
Your
right? So
hands
they talk
in your
about never
pocket.
turning your back to somebody, right? And Roman's clearly not happy with Jimmy. But he put his hands in his pocket. So not only is it like, hey, I will turn my back to you, I don't even need my hands. Like, that's how not concerned he is about the idea of Jimmy snapping on him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean, there's definitely psychology in there. What did you think about this opening promo with Roman, Usos, and Paul Heyman?
I mean, it's great. Everything that they've been doing, continue to do, is straight gold. Like,
It's so good, man.
it's a great way to open the show. Keeps you interested, or not interested, but like you want to see what's happening next.
You know, and they do such an awesome job of tying in throughout the show. More of that. Like, there's an ongoing story arc. We talked about it a while back. I believe it was on episode 1. How back in the Attitude Era, one of the things that kept the show so compelling is it opened up with a segment that was tied throughout the entire segment that led into the main event. And about how we didn't see that a lot nowadays, but we saw a little bit more on SmackDown than on Raw from time to time. This is a lot of what they're doing now with like Roman and Usos here. This is exactly how they opened it. They opened it with Usos and Mysterio. There was a couple awesome spots in here, but it ended up ending with Jimmy getting his shoulder up before the 3 count, but the ref not seeing it because he was out of position, which led into several more segments throughout the show, which led into the main event. It's just so awesome to see all those things just trickled through here. And now the tag titles are sort of woven into the main event scene as well, to a degree, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you knew something had to happen. You know?
Yeah.
Because I didn't want the Usos to win it just because the Mysterios haven't had it very long, and I didn't want them just to be, you know, quick placeholder. But like you kind of knew that they weren't going to go that route, you know?
Yeah.
Or you had a feeling, I should say. We don't know shit.
Yeah. But
I mean, you know, it was a good match. The way it ended, I thought it was good. Outside of, it was a little clunky before the pin, but that's my only complaint. It's not terrible.
Dude, how dope was it when Ray, I guess I should clarify, when Ray's doing his baseball slide out of the ring?
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy just catches him. Oof. Yeah, Samoan dropped him on the table. So dope, dude. I fucking loved that.
Yeah. I rewound it and watched just that spot a few times.
Yeah.
Because the timing had to be perfect. Like, oh, it was so good.
Oh, I was going to say, for their promos, when Roman got the guys mixed up, Jimmy and Jay mixed up, he's like, hey, that's not me. And Roman just said, does it even matter? Oof, got me. That got me.
Yeah. Like, how dope is that? Well, let's just talk about the Usos and Roman. We won't have to go like segment by segment necessarily. But so one of the right after this, Roman's pissed, says they got to get it sorted out. He looks at Jay and calls him Jimmy. And Jay's like, hey, man, I'm Jay. And he just kind of like smirks and goes, does it even matter? All after last week where he said, I don't want it to go back to people asking which one are you, which led into the original storyline that they had to begin with where he said, where Jay said that, you know what they say about me? So dope, dude. I fucking loved that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's good psychology, you know, in just a simple promo, just a simple spot. And, you know, it told so much in just that little, like, 5-second clip.
Yeah. Dude, so good. And see Roman fucking with Jay. Do you think, so, let's see. And then ultimately he told them, hey, you guys got to get this shit sorted out tonight. And so they go over to Sonya and Adam Pearce and say, hey, we need to get this shit sorted out tonight or we about to get, you know, done up. And they say they'll review it. Then they review it. They go find the Mysterios who are leaving with their gear on but shorts over top, which is always how I dress when I leave a venue. And they say they're going to do the match again. What I really liked, too, in that spot was Ray's like, are you kidding me? And Dom's all like, okay, we'll do it. And Ray looks at Dom and goes all like, oh, damn. Like, he gives this look like, oh, okay, if you want to do it, we'll do it. Like, it showed part of that, like, no one thinks Ray's not willing to go 4 or 5 times in one night if he's got to. It's Rey Mysterio. He's done it before, you know? But he's trying to protect his son. So for him to be all like, oh, okay, you already think you're ready for 2 matches in a night, like, okay, let's do this. Like, I really liked the subtlety of the facial expressions in that spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it kind of, like you said, it took, like, Ray took a step back when Dom was just like nonchalantly just, oh, okay. Kind of like, you know, your boss at McDonald's telling you to make more fries. So, oh, okay.
Yeah, gotta do what I gotta do, I guess.
That's what the boss told me.
Yeah. So they do get the rematch, and Roman interrupts it before the end of it. Says they were about to lose, but he spears Rey Mysterio, and then he just beats the absolute shit out of Dominic. Dude, I loved in one of those back promos too, and he goes, "You lost to a child."
Yeah.
So fucking cool, dude. But where do you think this is going? Because I'm starting to wonder, because before it felt pretty confident, oh, Jimmy will come in, he'll go through some of the troubles that Jay went through, and then he's going to join, and we're going to have this like huge bloodline faction like we've always talked about. Do you think it actually gets to the point of reverse, where actually Jimmy gets Jay away from Roman?
See, I was thinking about that, but I think that should be a longer, like, further down the storyline. Because when Jimmy came back, I was excited because I thought they were going to come out with the left man hand shirt.
Yeah, it'd be so good.
But no, they came out with "I'm not your bitch."
Yeah, which is similar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. In a lot of ways. Yeah, I felt like this week watching the way that Roman was talking down to Jay was the first time I thought maybe it's actually going to go the other way. Maybe actually Jay steps away instead of Jimmy stepping in. But go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's cool because it can go a number of ways. And at this point, I don't think any of them are wrong. Like, Excuse me. I'm just, I do want to see, like, I've always liked factions. I want to see more factions, but if you put a big bloodline faction together, who are they going to go up against?
Yeah, I mean, for Christ's sake, who are they even to put Roman against that makes you think that it's possible? And then to add the Usos into that, I mean, yeah, it seems like you put the three of them together, and literally, is there any other wrestlers on the level that could take down a 3-man team like that? Like, it just seems ridiculous.
Yeah.
Talk about overpowered, you know what I mean? But I thought it was dope, dude. I really liked it. I even liked the idea of Roman going too far. And it called back to Roman just being, you guys lost to a child. And then he goes in there and beat up Dom like he was a kid. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just showed
ragdolled him. And...
God, yeah. Dude, imagine if one of your kids talked to you the way that Jimmy talks to Roman. You do the same thing you did to Dominic, man. You just guillotine all your kids.
Yeah. That's enough. No, I say when it's enough.
I think the next time you're at the dinner table with all of them, as soon as you sit down, you should look at them in the face and just go, "Acknowledge me." Just see what they do. Didn't one of your kids sit at the head of the table too? Typically.
Yeah, normally it's a little Nash.
Yeah. All right, we got to acknowledge him then. Never mind. He's head of the table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Never mind. It doesn't matter.
Now you got to teach him the guillotine. But once you do that, I mean, it'll be squared. Everything will be fine after that. It'll just fall into place.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So the rematch thing. All right. I'm just going through some stuff. Well, I mean, that's basically what's going on with the Roman and the Usos. And to be honest, I mean, what better story is there right now than them? And I mean, God, dude, we're close to a year on Roman being back. And it's been ultimately the same story going forward. And I'm not the least bit done with it or tired of it or wondering what's next. There's so many other things that we see go on for months and months. And we just kind of wonder, what is next? This is one that, no matter what's next, I just know it's going to be fine. It's going to be good. You know?
Yeah. Well, it hasn't gotten stale. There's so many other storylines that go for even sometimes just a couple weeks, and you're like, all right, I'm done with it. Like, this is not entertaining or interesting.
Yeah, just like I could be without this.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, dude. Yeah. Let me see. So, I guess some other things that happened on SmackDown as we roll through it, as we keep it going. Seth Rollins did a backstage interview with Kayla, And he ultimately was refusing to answer any of them. And then he like slowly removed the microphone and like threw it at Kayla and just laughed.
Mm-hmm.
I rewatched that segment twice because I was all like, maybe I didn't catch something in it. But it was a really weird segment, wasn't it? Like, I don't know what I was supposed to get out of it other than Seth just being a dick. And maybe that's all I need to get out of it. But
yeah, that's what I took it as. Like, Seth, you're a fucking asshole.
all right.
Those loud ass suits.
Yeah, I'm actually digging the suits. I like them.
I do too.
I mean, everybody should. The Young Bucks wear them right after Seth wears them. For like the third week in a row, they've worn a suit almost identical to what Seth was wearing on a week or two prior. So.
Yeah, it's once Seth's done with it, he takes it to Goodwill, and the Young Bucks scoop it up.
Oh, they pick it up. And they're so small that they actually just take his one suit and retailor it into two.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Could not help myself. Speaking of assholes, we had several segments with the Street Profits. We had Chad Gable show up and say, hey, profits are down. Street Profits were really dickish to him. And then Otis comes over and says, hey, you don't need to be such a piece of shit to Gable. So then the Street Profits say some shit about how Gable's ruining Otis's life and career and how he sucks now. So Otis Otis lays the fuck into Montez. Like the way he hit him, that I was like, holy shit. Like, I don't know if that was angle or not, or if it was like legit, but it looked fucking good, dude. That one got me. I was like, oh!
That was it. To me, it almost seemed like a receipt moment.
That's what it felt like, right?
It's like, like hey, you remember that one time you hit me, 2 years ago? I got you.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. And it may not have been at all. That's definitely what we got from TV, which was awesome.
Mm-hmm. That's what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah. And then the Street Profits cut one more promo where they want to go up against Gable and Otis. I know some people were saying that they're starting to see a little bit of heel antics in Street Profits. But I don't feel like that's true. But I will say that the Street Profits toning it down and not being so outrageously loud and cartoonish about all of the things they say are much easier to digest, and I thought made me look at them a different way. These promos they cut here, I was all like, oh, okay, these guys could be a serious threat. Where before, I was all like, a couple of clowns. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but at the same time, you felt that way about New Day when they first came out.
Yeah, no, 100%. I was not a fan of New Day for a while until those overly over-the-top, cartoonish, goofy, not even like the idea of not taking anything serious, but being so loud and obnoxious as to be, I don't know, to me it seems so forced. Yeah. Like what I've said before about in acting. One of the people, like when it comes to just movies and TV, say what you will, about the man, he might be a despicable piece of shit, but one of the reasons Kevin Spacey was regaled as such a good actor was how subtle he was in everything that he did. You know what I mean? Like the type of acting where you're watching people's eyes in every little bit versus like villains in horror movies where they're literally just screaming and doing way over the top motions, to me does not seem as difficult or as impressive as someone convincing you they're a psychopath because of the way they smirk once in a while. You know what I mean?
I think that was just Kevin Spacey being Kevin Spacey.
Could be. It could turn out to be that that's the case. Yeah. Yeah. Glimpses into the lunatic, and you're like, wait a second.
Yeah.
A little too good.
It all makes sense now. Yeah. He's a method actor.
Right? No, but like I said, but either way, like the idea that the characters which he did were always very subtly put together with a lot of facial expressions, with like just little squints of the eye type of stuff. versus like American Psycho with Christian Bale, where he couldn't be more over the top and cartoonish and loud. And to me, it was not an impressive thing to see. Oh, he's acting crazy. You're like, it's almost like when you point out the obvious type of stuff. You know what I mean? Look at, he's crazy. Do you think? You think that's what he's trying to do when he's literally screaming and yelling while he's got a chainsaw and his eyes are as big as they can get? Is that the subtlety you picked up on? You know what I mean?
Real subtle.
Yeah. So I'm just not as into that stuff. When you're not being even remotely subtle and you're just over the top, I'm just not as impressed, and I don't get invested because I go, oh, it's a cartoon.
Yeah.
So.
But the other thing is that, you know, going back to the New Day and, you know, stuff like that, like I don't find the Street Profits like remotely funny. So when they're over the top and cartoonish, like, to me, you want something to laugh at or laugh with, however you want to say. You know, and New Day makes you laugh. Riddle, you know, they make me laugh. I see Street Profits and they're over the top and, you know, and it's like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just obnoxious at that point because you're not funny. You are being loud and you're overly confident in how funny you think you are, and it comes off very off-putting. So, yeah, so I thought that them being toned way down here and coming off a lot more serious was a lot. Like, for me, I saw something in them I hadn't seen before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like,
well,
okay,
and
cool,
I've
something here.
You know, we've said it in the past, like, I can clearly see the talent in Montez. You know, more so than Dawkins.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think he does have a great future. But when and Dawkins as well, but when they become serious and they're not screaming and yelling and stuff like that, and they're just talking, you know, even a little fiercely, I think it's 110 times better than the other shit that they do.
Yeah. Yeah. I do too. I was super into it. I was like, oh, this could be good. So, yeah, I agree. Let's see. We're pretty far through SmackDown. Let's see. Carmella and Liv Morgan both had on-screen promos during their entrances, which I do appreciate. Like, if we've seen the entrance a bunch of times, what's the trouble with, while they're walking down the ramp, to show a promo there? It's like a save on time. And you're you're getting like a two-for thing. So, I like it. I like when they do that. So, they did that. Yeah. I like the idea that it's pre-taped, too, because it gives them a chance to really work on it. I thought Carmella and Liv both did fantastic in these. Liv had a different kind of cadence than she's been talking in a while.
Yeah.
Did you catch that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I think, you know, it's kind of sad, but, you know, maybe the break from Ruby is what she's needed the whole time. And even when they broke them up for a little bit, it was like, cool, this is interesting. Let's see, you know, getting behind Liv, and they put them back together. But, you know,
yeah,
I'm curious to see, you know, if she can spread her wings and truly fly solo.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I think long term, as sad as it is that Ruby was cut and she'll have to rediscover her journey here, and I think she will. That was the other thing, too. There was a lot of fake outrage and just misplaced anger with the releases happening, with the amount of people I saw tweeting out, fuck Vince, this is what's wrong with Vince, this is what's wrong, why don't you fire all of your creative? And I was like, I even piped in on one of them. I was all like, well, first off, they did let go of like 30 people in creative. You're just not mad about it because you don't read about it because you don't know their names. So relax when you say that this is what's wrong, because they do that. They let go people from creative a lot.
Yeah, and it's because, like you said, A, you don't hear about it, and B, you don't hear, you know, there's not a lot of chit-chat on Twitter about it.
Yeah. People don't care. They do not care when you fire 30 people from creative, but they care when you fire 6 people from the talent roster. And I get it to a degree, but also at the same time, I apparently was in the minority because I wasn't concerned about any of their futures, because everyone they let go is an incredible talent who's been doing really well for a long time. I'm not concerned about them at all.
Yeah. And especially like with the whole shit about Drew and shit like that, you know, the last year, to me, most of these aren't, you know, hey, you're gone, you're never coming back. This is
It doesn't feel that way, no.
you know, you're gone for now. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of these people, you know, even from the previous releases, if we see them make a comeback at Royal Rumble this coming year.
Yeah.
You know, and that's, you know, that's what, 6 months away. You know, yes, that's soon, but you know, Ruby Riott coming out for the Royal Rumble, cool. I don't, you know, I just don't think, you know, people act like it's hey, you're fired and it's, what is it, uneligible for rehire.
Yeah,
and
or they act like it's the end of your career and the end of your life. And I was like, I don't feel that way about any of these people.
Yeah, exactly. I think, like I said, I think I don't want to say most of these guys, but I think a handful of these people that have been released in the last couple months, we will definitely see them in WWE down the road.
Yeah, I don't think that any of them left in a term that made me think like, well, they're never going to be wrestling again. So we'll see how it all plays out. But ultimately, yeah, I think that as sad as it is that Ruby left, I do think that there's a good possibility, a very good possibility, this could be the best possible thing that's happened to Liv, because it's going to shake her up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
She's now the only one left of the Riot Squad. The Riot Squad was so important to her and the rest of them that they all tattooed the date that they debuted on their body somewhere. So they've all leaned so heavily on each other. Here's where Liv has to rely on herself and herself alone. And what did we say when she got back together with Ruby? Oh, this is going to be cool. And then what did we say as soon as we started seeing the promos? Well, this is really weird. Leave it to Beaver stuff, and it's not very good. You know?
Well, when Liv was that little time when she was a solo, you know, we got behind her. It was like, cool, let's see where this goes. Let's see where this goes. You know, we were excited. And then they put her with Ruby, and it's like, cool, this is going to catapult both of them. And it did like the exact opposite.
Yeah. And to be honest, this match here with Carmella, Liv was awesome. She may have tapped out to the Code of Silence, but there was a really good match leading into it. And her promo was great. It wasn't like Hard Times. People aren't going to replaying that promo 1,000 times, but it got me interested. I thought it was good. I liked her new cadence, the way that she's talking. I liked the way that she worked the verbiage around to get to her, like, because she's always tweeting "Watch me." She even got a shirt out there that says "Watch me." The idea that she's starting to create a narrative where she's going to end her sentences on "Watch me," I think is really good. I thought that was a really clever way to do it. They won't be looking at you because they're going to want to watch me. And I was all like, oh, I like
there
that.
It is.
Yeah. Exactly. There it is. There's a reason to say that, you know, because a lot of stuff gets forced. And even as much as I love LA Knight, there's some times where he says something and I go, that was just a catchphrase. That didn't fit. Think about Ember's Law in NXT. Ember says Ember's Law every promo, and I never understand why she said that.
Yeah. It was the same as, you know, Braun. How many times did he force out get these hands?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. It can be a crutch in a bad way. This is one where I think that it's giving her a direction in a good way, so I was really excited about it.
Yeah, and you know, to me, I think it's easy with that because, you know, get these hands is one thing. You know, you can say "watch me" in so many different ways and forms. You know, you can start off a sentence, "Watch me do this," or you know, end the sentence with "watch me."
Yeah. And
I think it's a little more versatile is what I'm trying to spit out.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. There's only 2 other segments we really haven't touched on for SmackDown, and we'll keep it moving, man. But Bianca Belair came out. This, I think, so far is my favorite Bianca promo we've had so far. Because it was the most, like, in-depth character I think we've gotten out of her. Where she's all like, you know, it was messing with me. She was talking about, like, the laughing that Bayley's doing, getting in her head. And then she gets all, you know, riled up, and she says, you know what, I challenge you, Bayley. And then she's like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to say? Why aren't you responding? You know what I mean? Because there's always, like, those moments where they don't cut to it. Which did lead into them cutting to Bayley in what appeared to be some sort of creepy villain layer with a bunch of pictures of herself with different titles on the back wall. And
see, I thought that was just your spare room.
I thought they were on my set. I was like, holy shit. And I fucking ran into the other room.
Whole camera crew and Bailey snuck into my house and I didn't even know.
Yeah. When did they get this? Yeah, 100%. But I thought it was awesome. And then, like, she starts laughing, and then they end up putting out all the Thunderdome screens as Bailey laughing, which I'm also like, get it while you can. Do stuff in the Thunderdome you can only do in the Thunderdome while you can.
Yeah, I noticed it a couple times.
Yeah.
You know, definitely on Raw. But, yeah, get it in while you can. Do it. And then, you know, in what, a few weeks, we'll be done with it.
Yeah, it's only like a month away before we won't be having Thunderdome at all anymore, and yeah, get it while you can. And I thought it just made Bailey look like Lex Luthor, kind of Superman villain.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I almost thought she was going to refer to that room as her Fortress of Solitude, but she, you know, so funny. What do you think about the segment, Bianca and Bailey?
I thought it was really good. Like I like that there's, you know, they're building something. Mm-hmm. Where with Sasha and Bianca, they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Or they didn't do it the right way, I should say, where it makes it interesting. You know, I'm interested to see Bailey versus Bianca. You know, there seems like legit animosity between the two, and that's what you want for wrestling, you know, storytelling.
Yeah. It's been going on a long time, and it hasn't gotten stale.
No.
So, yeah, I like that a lot. Let's see, the last two segments they had, King Corbin defeated Shinsuke Nakamura via pinfall. He grabbed his crown. He got jumped by Boogs and Nakamura ran away with the crown again. Dude, I do like the pairing. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, this faction that they have with Boogs, Shinsuke, and Pat McAfee is amazing. Yeah. Like, the way McAfee reacts to Boogs each time and, like, jumping on the announce table, like, oh, so good. And, I know, you know, you were going to say the pairing with Boogs and Shinsuke, like, it seems so odd, like, when you look at it on paper, but it's so good.
Yeah. I think it's so funny. I think the way that McAfee reacts is hysterical, but I also understand, because there was a little stuff on Twitter. I do think the idea of it being a bit much for some people is not like a stretch of the imagination to me. He is just screaming Boogs over and over again and trying to see how many times he can say Boogs, and like it's a Mad Lib. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I do think it's funny. And I like the idea that you view it as a faction. The Boogs, McAfee, and Shinsuke are all in a team together.
Yeah. It's amazing.
I mean, you can't argue it. Like, you also think, like, oh, I wonder if McAfee would get in the ring again. You're like, well, if he's on the same side of the ring as Boogs, he would. Like, no doubt. Yeah.
So many times I've been waiting for McAfee to yell out, "Show me your Boogs." It just seems like he's going to say it. Sooner or later, he's going to say that.
I think it's got to happen. At some point, it's got to. I do like the Shinsuke and Corbin stuff a lot, and I do think that we're getting to a point where Corbin's going to drop the king part, or at least the crown, and we might get more towards a different version of Corbin to a degree.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think, you know, to me, I don't know when. Obviously, you know, it's probably not at Hell in the Cell, but maybe at Money in the Bank. Like, how great would it be to have a ladder match for the crown?
Oh, that'd be good.
Like, can you imagine, like, you know, and the thing I like about this the most is, you know, you have Shinsuke and Corbin that have gone up and down, but they were kind of, in my eyes at least, recently they've been kind of lower mid-card.
Yeah.
And for all of a sudden to them having this rivalry and going back and forth, and, you know, Shinsuke, you know, driving around town with the crown on all over social media.
Yeah.
Like, this is almost their third title, like their third singles title on the show.
It feels that way, yeah.
You know, like Raw has the 24/7 title that we haven't seen in forever.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I guess it is out there
but this
somewhere.
this to me feels like a third title almost. And I love it. You know, this little crown, just because one's the king of, you know, strong style, the other one's, you know, the king of the ring. Like this can't even speak right now. But this, you know, like I said, this little crown is like holds so much right now in the mid card.
It does have shades of Brett versus Lawler, where you're fighting for who's the real king.
Yeah, Burger King and all that other shit.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if it ends in a kiss my foot match. Can you imagine if they did a hair versus hair match and the winner gets the crown?
How would they do a hair versus hair match?
I mean, you fight for the loser that shaves their head.
Between Corbin that already has his head shaved?
Oh yeah, he's got a distinct advantage. Yeah.
I got nothing to lose, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Going all in.
I want him to at least say that to someone and have them look at him and go, "What? No. Why? Why would you?" You know what I mean? And I'm just kind of shrug, like, could have been funny, you know?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. The last thing we didn't talk about before it gets back into Uso stuff was Intercontinental Championship match, Apollo Crews against Kevin Owens. At the end of the match, Apollo Crews does win. Sami Zayn runs into the ring and attacks Owens, and I love he kept screaming like, "That wasn't me. That was karma." There's something about Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens that is never tiring. They've literally taken that fight forever chant that happened when they were on the Indies and said, "Yeah, why not?" And have made it seem so relevant forever. And they've never put on two matches that you've just felt like, oh, it's another Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn match. Every time you're like, this is great. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Kind of like Drew and Bobby. You don't get sick of it.
That's a good point. Drew and Bobby can go forever.
Yeah.
Can you imagine during Hell in a Cell, they're having a match and the crowd's just like, fight forever. Like they pipe it in.
You almost made me smell my drink. Yeah, that. Yeah. Oh god, that'd be so terrible.
So good, dude.
I think. Speaking of piping in noise, I hate that they pipe in chants. Like they legit think that.
There's ones that really bother me. And I really don't like that they do it to Roman to a point where Roman has to sort of acknowledge it. And that's upsetting because it makes the fact that he tries not to acknowledge it is the best and smartest thing he can possibly do.
Yeah.
Because it's like, how does I think what he should do when they're booing and he like kind of looks around, he should say something about the trucks. Like he should break the fourth wall on that one.
Yeah, the control room.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, they haven't gone back to the trucks in a minute. They used to go back to the trucks all the time.
Oh, yeah. Hey, in the truck. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I agree. There's some of those chants I think are just absolute garbage. But I hope that they do pipe in for Bobby and Drew fight forever, especially during a match where it's like the loser can't fight anymore. But let's talk about it, dude. Let's get into Raw. Oh, but I will say, as we wrap up SmackDown, and you can say anything you want about SmackDown, I do like Apollo Crews as the Intercontinental title holder. I do think it's really good. I like his pairing with Commander Aziz. I like that the Intercontinental title has Apollo, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Big E kind of circling that. But I do wonder, you're going to need a fresh face in there at some point. And I wonder who's next up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, for the longest time, I thought Jay was going to be, hey, you got your title, I want mine. And I thought he was going to go after the IC.
Mm-hmm.
But then Jimmy came back and ruined it all.
Yeah.
Damn it,
I
Jimmy.
can see that.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, too, since I made this last week's show, is I liked how Commander Aziz, did the, was it the Nigerian nail?
Yeah.
I like how he didn't, it was, Kevin Owens did the pin and he just kind of did it. There wasn't the whole build-up behind it. And I was like, cool, if he starts doing it without a build-up, that could be awesome. It reminds me of the Big Show knockout punch.
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden, it could come out of nowhere, almost like an RKO, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I think he could. I know Bishop was giving it shit, saying that he winds back so far and moves so slow that it's impossible to miss it. And I told him when I see him, I'm gonna hit him with one. We'll see.
Yeah, you'll never see it coming.
Yeah. Yeah. But anything else on SmackDown you want to throw out there?
No, I think we're good.
I think so too. Let's talk about Raw, dude. Let's get into Raw. This is why we drink. This is what keeps us boozed. Raw. Now, let me see.
Raw.
It started off with all of the tag teams in the ring for the Battle Royal. And I saw a few people mention it too, where they're all like, oh, cool, they're going to start with a match. But then AJ and Omos came out, and they did a 15-minute promo with everybody in the ring. And everyone goes, oh, wait.
Yeah.
It was just a really long opening segment.
Just kidding.
Yeah. What did you think about this in the opening part? I really like. I mean, AJ's so funny, dude, and the New Day to be going back and forth with them. It was so good.
Yeah.
What do you think of it all?
I mean, I liked it. I like how AJ just went out there and basically just took a shit on the entire tag division. Lindsay, you're out here without a partner, this and that, and went with the Usos and Randy and Riddle, and yeah, I mean, I liked it. The only thing I don't like, just talking about AJ and Omos, is I hate how they keep calling him his personal Colossus.
I thought it was funny when he first said it. I think my only issue with it is that Bronson Reed calls himself Colossal.
Well, see, this is why I don't like it, and I'm not a complaining about shit snowflake thing, but it's 2021, and you're sitting here saying that he owns this guy.
Yeah, I guess that is the underlying tone of it, especially considering
that
it's not like his bodyguard anymore. Now they're a tag team.
Yeah, and it's his own personal Colossus.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you saying here? Like I said, I'm not one to dive into cancel culture, but
yeah,
I'm surprised no red flags have come up from that.
Yeah, it does seem a little off. It does. Yeah, I mean, I remember thinking it was weird when I heard it last time because I just thought, well, they're a tag team now. It's not like before where it was like his insurance policy. Because before
exactly.
it was easy to say when he's like my bodyguard. He's my bodyguard. Now it's all like he's my teammate and I own him. And you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, exactly.
What do you mean? That part?
Yeah. It just every time they say it, it just feels wrong and off.
Yeah, something about that is off. What do you think about the John Morrison and Miz stuff? A lot of people were talking very highly about the slow motion bit.
I mean, I said when Morrison first came out or came back, and they were doing the slow motion thing again, that I wanted them to pan to, whoever's in the ring and be like, hey, why are they doing that? And then you see them in just normal time and they're just doing it slow. So that's what it kind of felt like to me, but I don't know why Miz is around. Like, you finally got hurt. Take a vacation.
Yeah, you finally got hurt. It's time to be off TV, and it's time to give Morrison an actual shot at being successful. Like, this whole
exactly.
tag team's got to go.
Yeah.
I didn't like it at all. A lot of people were all like, well, say what you will, but this is hysterical and good TV. And I was like, didn't like it. I'm still pretty upset by the whole thing, and I wish that they would have split them up proper and just let John Morrison do something.
Yeah, it feels, we said it when Morrison came back, that we don't like that they paired him up with The Miz. And to me, they've dragged it on way too long. And I think that maybe us just having animosity towards that. But yeah, Morrison just needs to, spread his wings and fly away. Kind of like Liv. Just, all right, go.
Yeah, that's a shot. What do you got? And the thing is that, like I'm not saying Miz is dead weight. I'm not insinuating that at all. But I will say that Miz is holding down John Morrison. Yes. Not that they aren't fine together or that they're not decent talents together or even individually. They're obviously both championship guys. But I think the sky's the limit for a guy like John Morrison. And I think being paired with his buddy keeps him from getting to that next level.
We'll see, and I will say that Miz is holding him down, especially now with the injury.
Yeah.
With Miz being out, it should be Morrison proving what he can do on his own. Instead, now he feels like a one-legged man trying to race. Yeah. He feels like he's not complete without The Miz, and I don't like that at all.
Yeah, me either. And like what I was saying was that he's definitely holding him down. I'm just saying I'm not trying to say Miz is dead weight. I'm not trying to undermine Miz's value, because a lot of people will say shit like that.
But with the injury, I think he is dead weight. I know they go on the mic, they go back and forth, and it's really nice. But with an injury, and they keep forcing this best friends gimmick.
Yeah.
And no, done. Just move on. Even if they revisit it when Miz is healthy, fine. But I don't need to see Miz, especially when they did the Miz TV last week, and it wasn't even, once again, the dirt sheet.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's a problem. I think that they got to split up, and I think that Morrison, you know what it kind of reminds me of, and people aren't going to like this comparison. Nobody's going to like it. But I'll tell you right now. Remember John C. Reilly?
So go ahead.
You know who John C. Reilly is, right?
Yes, of course.
Do you remember what he did before he teamed up with Will Ferrell?
No.
Huh? Magnolia, The Good Girl, a number of incredibly powerful, dramatic movies. Boogie Nights. Where he was on the road to an Oscar, and everyone was saying it. When's he going to get his Oscar? He was on his way there. This dude was seen as one of the most amazing dramatic actors they had, which made him teaming with Will Ferrell part of the joke. He was going to do a comedy with Will Ferrell, and it was like, oh, how is someone so incredibly dramatic going to do something silly? Well, then it just steamrolled his entire career into a bunch of jokes, which is to say that, like I was saying before, it's not that there's not value, and it's not like that there's dead weight. There's something to be said for that other side of things. People really love the stuff that John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell did together. It was hysterical to them. They look very fondly upon that stuff, and I look fondly upon a number of those movies as well, but not all. But, I mean, it's all taste, right? But at the end of the day, John C. Reilly just got further and further away from the conversation of, will he get this Oscar? You know what I mean? That's how I see John Morrison with Miz. He's getting further and further away from the conversation of when will he be the guy.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, maybe that's what they want. You know, how many actors do you hear? Well, I've done all these roles, but I don't like it. But it pays the bills. You know, I want to do something goofy, or I want to do this, I want to do that.
Yeah,
maybe
it can
that's
be
what he
absolutely
wanted.
fulfilling.
Yeah.
So I get that too. I mean, it can be an absolutely fulfilling thing. I mean, I bet you the John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell talk about the movies they did together with some of the most fun they have ever had. But at the end of the day, I'm just saying these guys are capable of more, and it's sad to see something go a certain direction with John Morrison. That's, to me, what it is he showed up after being the guy on the indies, getting championship title. You want to talk about belt collector? That guy was getting every championship in every promotion outside of WWE. And when he came back, people were like, he's going to prove that he's a main eventer. And he immediately goes and pairs up with Miz and then derails all of that talk. No one's talking about John Morrison and the heavyweight titles that he had before. Everyone's talking about the goofy shit he does with Miz. And to me, that's what sucks is because I was so excited when he came back.
Well, think about, you know, after Hell in a Cell, if whoever wins, Bobby or Drew, if all of a sudden Morrison's over there, hey, I want my shot. No one's going to be like, oh, shit, this is going to be cool. You know, he deserves it. Everyone's going to be like, why? There's so many other people.
Yeah. I agree. I'm having myself now some Woodford Reserve Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey. Pairs fantastically with New Wave Coffee, NOOWAVE.co. Promo code CHEERS for New Wave Coffee. Pairs perfectly with that. I wouldn't. Yeah, worse than subscriptions. We said that too. So I was just throwing out another New Wave plug. But we are having Woodford Reserve too.
And speaking of plug, our other sponsor. Just kidding.
Bad Dragon. Speaking of plugs.
Yeah.
All right. So we did have the tag team battle royal, and the Viking Raiders won, which means they're going to get a title shot against whoever the tag team champions are now. I believe that's AJ and Omos.
And if I've learned anything from future tag team opportunities, they will never get their title shot.
They may never get it.
I mean, Lana's still owed one.
Ooh.
She's gone.
Yeah, that's probably true.
You know, Lana and Naomi earned a title shot. I thought there was one more, but I think it's Natty. She obviously got it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it was the Riot Squad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe Liv and Naomi need to team up so they can get that title shot that both of their other respective teams had earned but never received.
Yeah. Live in the glow and watch me.
Yeah, watch the glow. Watch me glow.
Yeah. Yeah, watch me glow. Oh.
What? No. God, producer's giving me these looks, man. She does not appreciate the IIRonics.
Anyways.
All right. Well, let's keep going. Let's keep it moving. Let's see. I don't have as good a notes on this one, to be honest, as far as like backstage segments and stuff.
Well, real quick, going back to the tag team battle royal, is I thought for sure it was going to be Riddle and Orton or New Day.
I think a lot of people thought that, yeah.
Yeah, and so for the Viking Raiders to get it, great. Hopefully they get the opportunity, you know, let them rape and pillage, whatever they say.
Yeah, let them get it. Let them get it.
I just want to know where they keep getting these goddamn turkey legs, because if you know me, I love me some turkey legs.
That's a good point. You've always loved turkey legs. You've been big on that. And we were even talking about it the other day, with all the stuff opening up that we're going to get a chance to go to, it was like such a shame that it did not, the world has not opened up for Renaissance Festival in time for that. And I was like, we missed the mark on that one. We have to wait another year.
I know. What's funny is I actually recently thought about that too. I was like, all right, turkey legs.
Yeah. We're back, baby.
We're back.
Let's see. I'm just running through because I'm trying not to miss a thing here. And oh my God, the show's so long, dude. All these fucking Jesus Christ. I wouldn't say there was a lot of McIntyre this one, but there's definitely too much. Oh my God, there's even they even remember that stupid smug look Drew gave that you said I just saw on WWE's Twitter they actually tweeted a screenshot of it. I was like, this is a goddamn heel, motherfuckers. Oh my God. All right.
With his sword.
His goddamn sword.
Speaking of Renaissance festivals.
That's a good point.
Drew McIntyre.
Let's see.
And his
so Viking Raiders
sword.
won. Yo, and I mean, I even we'll get to it. We'll just keep it. Okay. Let's see. Charlotte Flair came over and said some dumb shit to Sonya and Adam Pearce. Rhea Ripley comes over and says they're talking some dumb shit. And then Adam Pearce and Sonya go, "Why don't you guys tag team together? I think that would be fantastic." And everyone went, "What? Why?"
Yeah, I hate it's, it used to happen periodically in the men's division where, oh, you don't like him. Well, now you're forced to be a tag team, for a match. And it seems like every time in the women's division, it's like every opportunity they get to put the champion with who they're going to face at the next pay-per-view in a tag match.
Yeah, 100%. And I saw everyone online was jumping on the same joke, like they're so funny and so good, where they're all like, but can they coexist? But I was all like, wow, you guys are all so clever with your saying the same thing. But at the same time, it's like, it was a stupid fucking segment nobody wanted. They did announce that you're going to have LA Knight and Cameron Grimes on NXT tonight, making a priceless announcement in regards to In Your House. So we'll see what that ends up being. But let's see. It looks like that led into, let's see. Not yet. They didn't have that match yet. We'll get to that. It looks like
hold your horses.
That turkey. But you did mention the turkey leg thing, and that was a funny segment where the Viking Raiders go back for the turkey legs, and AJ and Omos are eating them. Like,
yeah.
I was like, so funny. But then that led into the Elias segment. So Elias he comes out, he's doing his thing, and then he gets jumped by Jackson Riker with a haircut.
Yes.
And I guess this whole... Did you like it? Tell me which... Yeah, go on about it.
I liked it a lot. I think Riker, before you would see him and, obviously his physique and everything, and it's like, all right, cool. Now that he's, clean cut and stuff like that, to me, he seems like a lot more of a badass. Yeah. And I like it. I like, just a simple haircut, did wonders for him. Kind of like when Corbin first shaved his head.
Yeah, that's true. I did think that there's something about it that, I don't know, as much as you want to talk about his military days and you want to talk about him and you want to lean into the Marines and stuff, with him having really long hair, it does seem a little bit weird to try and pull that story. I mean, not that it's impossible or weird or awful. Most people, when they leave the service, a lot of them will grow their hair out because they couldn't for so long. But
yeah,
it does look a little weird.
But see, to me, I think the reason why I liked it is because, he had this long beard, long hair, cool. He had his matches and stuff like that. Now, he's pissed off at Elias, and like Stoney used to say, put your hair up and square up. So now he. Huh?
I said, yeah.
Oh. So now, he shaved his beard, got a haircut because, hey, if you're going to go into a fight, you don't want your opponent to have any advantage over you, whether it's pulling your hair or, whatever. So, like I said, that's why, to me, I think I view it as him looking more like a badass.
I can see that. Yeah. I didn't hate the segment. I didn't love the segment. It felt a little staticky, but it was also kind of like, I guess I don't know what they're going to be doing with these guys right now anyways, so I guess it's
Yeah.
fine. You know what I mean? A lot of people were really confused how Jackson was like suddenly the babyface in all of this. Which, I mean, I kind of agree to that I don't think there's been a very clear divide of who's good and bad in it. So it does make it a little more convoluted, but
Well, see,
yeah,
I think the exact opposite. I think the whole reason why Riker is the babyface in this is because his tag team partner turned his back on him. He went for a tag and he jumped off.
but Riker did the same thing the week before.
But I thought he was pulled off the week before.
The week before, Elias was getting beat up by Omos and Riker left.
Oh yeah, and then
And then the next week, Elias did it. So that's why to me it was like a little bit like I can't tell who's really the bad guy or good guy in this one, but I'm also not.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
But I also don't mind. Ultimately, it's like it's fine, but it doesn't. I don't walk away just being like, oh, this is incredible. I just walk by going like, okay, cool, they're doing their thing, and we'll see how that all plays out. But I don't know. It's kind of is what it is. Looks like I think Riker gets the win on it.
Mm.
Let's see.
But they've always kind of been that way with Elias.
Yeah.
He's a face, he's a heel. He's a face, he's a heel. Like they flip flop with him more times than most people change their.
Yeah, it's a good point. Let's see. They said something about Nikki Cross going to be able to pick her own tag team partner and go up against Rhea and Charlotte. And then we had a segment. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say
she picked Asuka.
Yeah, it was to me. It was so obvious. Like, I wanted something interesting, and maybe new, but it's like, all right, well, the only person in Raw's point of view, the only other person we have in the women's division is Asuka. So let's have her pick Asuka.
Yeah. Yeah, there wasn't a ton of options for her, I don't think. Let's see, they had the contract signing. Okay, go ahead.
Just real quick, I was going to say, like, how big would it have been if she picked Naomi? Cool, it makes sense. Both faces go. It brings Naomi up, but I don't get this, only 3 heads of the Raw women's title picture. It's only Asuka, Charlotte, and now Rhea. And seems like a waste. Speaking of bloated rosters.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see, they had the contract signing at this point. Bishop coming through. Cheers to Bishop coming through in the chat, saying hey.
Cheers, Bishop.
Let's see. We had contract signing with Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley. Dude, I just don't know how many times I can say that Drew McIntyre is just clearly a heel talking shit. He literally called Bobby Lashley's women that he's hanging out with hoes. And I don't think that's a respectful way to do that. You know what I mean?
Faux show.
Like, I get what he's trying to say, and there's all that discourse online about whether or not that's what's going on here or not. But, I mean, someone even said something about MVP or Bobby Lashley being a pimp because of all the hoes they're carrying around. And MVP made the comment of, we don't, or something along the lines of like, we left your mom and your sisters on the corner. We didn't pick them up. And when the person responded with all like, oh, he's so unprofessional, he goes, well, you're also missing the part where you called these women and entrepreneurs hoes. And so it's kind of like, yeah, I guess I see what he's saying, but it's a weird discourse where like they're just like, it's not being presented the same way The Godfather was. It's just not. We're making that correlation purely based on optics. The same way people say that Boogs and Elias is the same gimmick. And you're like, no, it's just optics alone. You're just saying because they both have guitars. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And because Boogs has a mean mustache.
Yeah, he does.
But, we said it would, like you said, pure optics alone. Like, if you put them side by side in a screenshot, yeah, that's what it looks like. Godfather did, the whole hoe train, and, and that's what Drew referenced. And it's like, hey, Godfather several times called them hoes.
Yeah.
Now they're calling them ladies. They didn't say ladies of the night or anything like that. They just said Bobby's ladies.
Yeah.
Or Lashley's ladies, whatever they call them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like you said, on pure optics, pure, what you see, yeah, they're strikingly, similar.
Yeah.
But they're not, they weren't, I don't know. I'm not going to get into it. They're not over there saying, hey, they're curing us some favors in the back.
Yeah, they're not saying anything like that. They're just partying with the champion because he's got a bunch of money and stuff now. They're trying to make the championship look like it means something more than just a boyhood dream and a toy prop, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're actually trying to make the championship title look like it's valuable.
It's prestigious. Like,
yes, that there's money to be made by being the champion, and only Roman and Bobby are doing that. Drew had it, and it was like, I wanted this because I was a kid and liked wrestling, and now I have it. He never talked about being successful because he had it. He talks about wanting it because he wants it because of what he saw on TV one time. Bobby's talking about it like wanting it because it makes him more rich. The success he sees by being...
it pays the bills, just like what Roman says.
Yeah.
Feeds the family.
Exactly. They're making it prestigious. They're giving it that Ric Flair treatment of, well, now that I have this, I can pay for anything I want. And in storyline, Bobby's divorced.
Drip, if you will.
Yeah, it's Ric Flair drip. In storyline, Bobby got divorced this past year. Remember? Lana? So he's, why not? Why not have a bunch of money and say, hey, any woman who want to come and hang out, I don't need a bunch of dudes here. You know what I mean? But, hey, maybe I'll be around some fitness models. Why not? Doesn't mean he's doing anything with them. Just means that's who he wants to party with.
I ain't got the old ball and chain.
Yeah.
Free man.
Yeah, and it just makes it look like it's valuable. Being champion is, like you said, prestigious and comes with a bonus. It comes with more money. And that's just not the presentation otherwise. And then Drew calling them hoes is not exactly a babyface thing to do. And then he pulls out that goddamn puny little sword and cuts the table in half like a fucking idiot. What I loved about that is Bobby didn't flinch.
Yeah.
He cut a fucking...
MVP.
What?
MVP kind of like told Bobby, like, hey, watch out. This dude brandished a weapon. Yeah. And he just turns around and he cuts the table and Bobby's just staring at him.
Yeah.
Like,
Bobby just stares at him like, what?
Come on.
Actually, I'm watching a GIF of it. Bobby stepped forward. As soon as Drew cut the table in half, Bobby takes a step forward, and that's when MVP puts his arm out and kind of goes like, dude, don't go all the way. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I thought it was stupid. Drew's whole thing with the sword.
Well, 100%. And you know what pissed me off is when he came out with it, I was like, whatever, he's going to do the stupid putting it into the stage. And when he didn't, I immediately thought, like, all right, this is going to come back and play.
Yeah. Yeah,
I was hoping
I thought the
he
same
just
thing. I was
cut
like,
his...
is he going to use it?
Yeah, I was hoping he'd cut his finger and be like, I'm signing in blood, bitch. But instead, he cut a table in half.
Yeah. And it looked phony as fuck and stupid, and he's using this thing. And Bishop found online where someone's all like, here's a sword and here's a claymore and here's the difference. A sword's a one-handed little needle and a claymore's a two-handed big old dick. And I was all like, I don't give a fuck. Because at the end of the day, the whole thing came from he showed up with it after a brief story where Sheamus gets it from his grandfather, gives it to him. And then immediately Drew goes on podcast and goes, oh, yeah, it belongs to Vince. It was a gift to Vince. He lets me borrow it. And I was like, okay, well, now I don't give a shit about you and your goddamn Vince sword.
Yeah, Triple H bought it for him, didn't he?
Yeah, Triple H bought Vince McMahon a claymore, and now you're goofing off with it. Okay, I'm impressed all of a sudden. And I was like, and at the end of the day, it didn't mean jack shit to me because this is no different. No matter how you want to fucking spin it, in your own little white privileged minds, as we mention from time to time in other venues. This is no different than the Lucha House Party coming out with a piñata. He just happens to be a white guy from Scotland, so now he comes out with a claymore, and it's like, well, this is his heritage. Well, so is Lucha House Party with a piñata. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't a huge fan of the piñata. If you love the piñata, then you'll love this.
Yeah. I mean, he's at the end of the day, he's playing with another man's sword.
Yeah. He's literally brandishing another man's sword. He's gripping another man's sword every week, playing with it. He shakes it off.
Smashes it through things.
All right.
What?
What?
Any more description on the sword?
You know, some people say they wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, stop.
Remember,
See,
you know,
I was thinking,
you know,
I was thinking something else. I was thinking, hey, I wouldn't with your dick.
yeah, that's what I mean. That's the other one I was gonna say. I wouldn't do that with yours. Well, he's like, I will do it with yours.
You're all horrible.
Yeah.
I would love to do it with yours, Vince. He's dual wielding Vince's sword.
Yeah. But you know, going back a little bit, is how terrible was that story that Drew was saying? Like, I
Awful.
swear, when I first listened to it, I rewound it because I thought he said Robert Baratheon, King Robert Baratheon, and I was like, "That's from Game of Thrones, you idiot!"
Yeah,
And then I rewound it.
It's famous.
I was like, "Oh no, he said, yeah." I was like, he said something else or some other king, but I was like, God, like, it was bad.
Yeah, it was awful.
And then
Go ahead.
Going into the next segment, I believe it's the next segment. Drew broke his jaw, this and that. He's a badass. He
didn't.
But then Sheamus comes out here with the fucking face mask on, 2 black eyes, and I was like, man, Drew looks like a bigger bitch.
That's what I mean, dude. They're forcing Drew so much to look tougher than he is, and it just makes him look less and less tough. He's more of a fucking Plato than he's ever been. Justin does say in the chat, if the sword had broke when it hit the table, I would have died laughing. I would have fucking loved it, dude. If he swung that and it just like popped into pieces, I'd been like, fuck yes, dude.
That would have been amazing.
Bishop does say that he has to two-hand another man's sword. That's a good point. He does. Dual wielding.
Yep.
Vince doesn't walk around with just a sword. He wants more. Claymore. You know what I mean? And then he says the story is where it completely disconnected me. Yeah, and then the other thing is fucking while MVP's trying to say something, Drew's like, shut up, let me talk. I'm going to talk. And then as he's talking, like he's literally interrupting the champion. As he's talking and then MVP tries to say anything, he's like, let me finish. Like he's so adamantly angry about anyone interrupting him and does no problem interrupting everybody else. And it's such fucking horseshit. I'm like, this dude is easily booable. I want him to get his ass kicked every fucking time. And then when Bobby's like, here's the deal. If you fight me for this match, you never get a rematch again. And I was all like, he shouldn't just be in title matches in general for a while. I loved Kofi's promo a couple weeks ago where he goes, you wouldn't know what it's like not getting a rematch.
Yeah.
But yeah, that whole story was
So
stupid.
good.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that pisses me off is I thought they were catapulting Kofi to go over Drew, and I was like, perfect, because Kofi just murdered him on the mic, and I was like, great. And then Drew won, and don't get me wrong, that Claymore, when Kofi jumped off, it was executed nice. I'm not taking anything away from the man's talent, but his character fucking sucks balls.
Yeah, 100%. The character is just somebody I hate. Like I said, dude's probably cool. And at the end of the day, I'm not saying he's bad at what he's doing. He's bad at getting cheers from me. There's a difference. I absolutely want to see Hell in a Cell, and I absolutely want to see him get his ass kicked by Bobby Lashley.
Because
Bobby!
that's what you want from a face. I mean, from a heel. You want the heel to get his ass kicked.
Yes.
And for them to still push this narrative of him being a face, it's like, no.
That's the disconnect.
Maybe not everyone. Maybe just us two. Because I was, once again, I don't know about the crowd noise that was pumped in during WrestleMania, but I thought he was going to get his ass booed.
Yeah.
But Like, we want to see him to get his ass kicked, and that's what you want from a heel.
Mm.
And if this is, you know, the 2021 version of Roman back in the day, we're like, yeah, people don't like him, but we're gonna keep pushing him because people don't like him.
Yeah.
Okay, but whatever.
Yeah. Just lean into the hate. Let the hate flow through you. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last week, Corey said that he was a Terminator, and I was like, oh shit, here we go. He's gonna think he's half robot again. Start moving like a fucking robot. When they break down his career all the time, and they're all like, it's been 300 years since he's been fighting to get back here. And like, what the fuck? They always gloss over that period of time where he thought he was a robot just because they said he was a Terminator. And you're like, dude, no, you put that on yourself. No one said to do that. No one said to move that way. Well, you say I'm a Terminator, so I must be half robot. No. Not the only Terminator. Yeah. McIntyre's literal McIntyre.
I've been trying to fight for this championship ever since King Robert Baratheon was holding the helms down in Scotland.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, the whole story was just bad. Let's see. Nikki Cross picked Asuka. Here we go. Let's talk about Sheamus. Although I really hope Bobby Lashley wins at Hell in a Cell, but I'm wondering if this whole thing is so he doesn't. But because the whole thing is like, while Bobby's champion, you don't get a title shot. So I'm wondering if, because I think either way it spells the end of Bobby's title reign soon. Like, I think if Bobby wins, that means the next person to go up against Bobby's going to take it.
You see, I don't think so. Because I think, you know, after, I don't know when the promo was, but with the whole MVP and Kofi promo, I think Kofi's next, which leads into what's happening after Drew.
Yeah.
And to me, I thought that was foreshadowing that Drew's not going to take it. You know, unless they start a Kofi versus Bobby non-title, or, you know, if Bobby's not the champion feud, which isn't entertaining or interesting to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Let's talk about that promo. Let's just get into it. There was an awesome promo, and then we'll go back to the Sheamus stuff. But there was an awesome promo with Kofi and MVP backstage that was just so fucking good. That came off so legit. There are people are always talking about how WWE's too scripted. Everyone's so scripted. And I keep saying, from what I've heard, that's just not the case unless you prove them otherwise. That they will give you those training wheels as long as they think you need them. But you get guys like Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Kofi Kingston, MVP. At this point, Drew McIntyre seems clear to me that he's just saying whatever the fuck he wants.
Clearly.
The New Day. Yeah. The New Day specifically, the Usos. I would say probably Roman, but I feel like Roman works with somebody. You know what I mean? I feel like he's definitely a major player in what he's going to say and how, but I think that he does work with somebody, to be honest. But the Usos?
I think that's Heyman. I think Heyman's like, hey, do this. You know, especially since they're going hand in hand, and he's his personal colossus.
Yeah.
On the mic.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I just don't think that Roman's coming up with that at the top of his head when he goes out there. I think that he comes out a bit plotting, which I think is also part of the charm of it. I mean, like, it comes out dope because he sounds so authentic, and I think he's working with somebody. But, like, the Usos, fucking show me an Uso script, please. I would love to see a script for the Usos and then see what it actually sounded like once they said it.
They always put up their script when they come out. It's on the Jumbotron.
It's on the Jumbotron?
Yeah.
But you had Kofi and MVP, and this was so fucking dope. And I like that Kofi gets frustrated with him. He goes, just say what you want to say, man. He goes, what are you doing here? I loved it. Like,
cut the bullshit. Let's go.
Yeah. So I just thought it was awesome. So you think that it's foreshadowing title reign? I thought it was foreshadowing a partnership potentially that MVP might be trying to get the New Day to join with Bobby Lashley. The problem with that is that we just had the Hurt Business break up, and everyone's still sore about that, and rightfully so. The Hurt Business was great.
The only thing about that promo that I rewound a couple times is I'm trying to figure out who Kofi and Xavier were talking about when they're like, "Oh, you just move out of the way and let him run himself and hurt himself, or he'll run into it and hurt himself." And it's like, cool, let's do that. Half of me was thinking they were talking about Braun, but he was just released because he's the only one that would go for a shoulder tackle and never hit it in the corner. And then half of me is like, they're talking about a video game.
Yeah. All right. Well. Bishop's in the chat. He does say, "Is Kev's glass a microphone?" And yes, it is indeed a microphone. I love that glass.
Yes.
It's one of my favorites. Is. So good.
I have an Enzo one that didn't age very well.
Didn't age well, but that one aged perfectly. Dude,
yes.
So remember how I was getting slam crates and doing the unboxings, and all of a sudden I didn't get any anymore, and I was like, well, shit, the one I didn't get was the one that had the exclusive Bailey shirt, so I went out and bought that Bailey shirt. Well, I never got that box. No, I never got it, but a couple days ago, I got a different slam box, and I was like, when the fuck is it? Like, what the? I have no idea when I get boxes or not anymore, and it came with a shot glass of Ric Flair's face, and it says "Woo" on it. But it also came with a fucking, I forget what the taller glasses are called, but it's fucking Charlotte Flair. And I was like, well, goddamn.
It's like a cocktail.
Yeah.
A Pilsner glass?
It looks like a little cocktail one on like
it's
something
a type
you
of cocktail.
See, you get a mojito in or something.
Yeah. Like the mojito style glasses. I mean, it says on the
box.
box.
Like a hurricane glass?
Kind of.
Or a Poco Loco. That's what they're called, Poco Loco.
Poco Loco, that is the one. Yeah, it's a Poco Loco glass of Charlotte, and it's a fucking Ric Flair shot glass. And I was like, God damn it, what am I going to do with this Charlotte glass? It's too much stuff for me to scrape off. So, highball glass? No, highballs are smaller, I think, but I don't know.
Irish car bomb.
Yeah. But, yeah, I love that microphone glass, dude. It's so good.
Oh, that's a Collins glass.
Is it Collins?
Yeah,
that sounds right,
Collins
actually.
glass.
I bet you if you look at that box over there with the red on it, it says Collins. I think you're 100% right. But.
What do I win? What do I win?
Bishop does say you can make flare bombs in that. It's 100% true. You could drop the rake inside of. Well, I don't like the way that verbiage is going. Rick already made one woman pregnant on TV, so we're gonna leave it. What?
I nearly spat out my drink when you're like, "Oh, you just dropped the Rick in the Charlotte."
Hey, I didn't write it, man. You can't get me for the writing that they had.
Let's move it along.
Come on. We're just working through it, man. God.
Welcome
What's
to
up,
the
Drew?
chat.
Yeah, Drew. Cheers. Thanks for coming through, man.
Cheers.
All right. Let's see. Where are we at? Are we on the Sheamus stuff?
We were talking about
Kofi MVP. I don't know if I had anything else to say about it. Did you?
No. I think that's it.
We'll see how it goes. For sure. So we had Sheamus come out with his Cody Rhodes mask.
yes, I thought.
And he was sitting outside to watch the Ricochet versus Humberto Carrillo match, where the winner earns a United States Championship opportunity. I love that Sheamus got a mic, was talking mad shit. Humberto leaps over the ropes like he's gonna dive on him, but then like swerves in the middle of the air and doesn't. I also liked that Sheamus called them whoa, air horn. I don't know if the air horn gets picked up by our podcast. I kind of don't know that it does, but definitely got an air horn there.
Thank you, Just in Time, for subscribing at Tier 1 for 1 month. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Kev,
Get the money gun
when it goes, right? I'm not allowed to get the money gun, dude.
No, I just heard you guys screaming and it scared me.
Oh. I was going to get you missed it last week. We had someone jump in the chat and subbed like 10 gift subs, and I was going to hit the money gun, but producer was asleep. I didn't want her to wake up and start hitting me with stuff. You know what I mean? Like, she'll strike me down with a claymore. She'll choke me out. Guillotine. What was it that Sheamus called them? Gipshites?
I sent it to you. I was working. I couldn't.
So fucking funny.
I sent it to you.
So fucking funny. Let me find it. 'Cause I'm being told I got to go look now because gobshites. He called them gobshites and called them fucking Muppets, and I loved it. And then he was all complaining because the winner of Humberto versus Ricochet was going to be a number one contender for his title. I do think, and I've been saying it for a little while, that we're going to end up with a triple threat at some point anyways. What do you think is going on here, man?
No, 100%. I think it's going to end up in a triple threat. I think they should have slow played this a little bit because every time there's 3 people involved, it's always a triple threat. And I think they should have done it. I can't think of an example, but they should have slowed it down and, Ricochet gets a shot, then Humberto, and then, maybe Ricochet takes it from Sheamus, and then Humberto gets a match, and then just have this love triangle for the U.S. title.
Yeah. I don't know. All right. Yeah. I think it's going to be good. I do think that it's a bit weird to have a triple threat with 2 baby faces, and it's really difficult to see what's going on with Ricochet and Humberto. I think one of those guys got to get real bad real fast. You know what I mean? Because I think otherwise,
I think Ricochet's kind of showing that he's going to turn.
We definitely have a change up in Ricochet.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think that it's very possible it's Ricochet. I'd prefer it to be Ricochet. I think he does need a change up, and his promos he's been cutting online and stuff are fantastic. Let's see. Cheers to Angela coming through the chat. What she said? She says hello.
Cheers.
Just saying. Cheers. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for coming through the chat. Let's see. We're not there yet. We are at Evolution. So Evolution's going to be starting next Monday, they said. She's going to make her appearance. Do you think she's going to actually wrestle? Do you think she's going to come out and at least... I think that it wouldn't be a bad idea because it would get people so fucking riled up to tease her old gimmick and have her come out like she's going to be in a match and say, this isn't right. I can't do the match tonight for whatever reason.
Thank you, Drew, for following us. That's that sound effect was the little clump walking across the screen and falling down.
Yeah, it was ice hitting the glass and clump falls for a follow for sure. So cheers to Drew coming through. Thank you guys. Anybody who's listening on podcast, if you go to twitch.tv/wrestlingontherocks, you can jump in the chat as well and be a part of the show.
Also follow us on YouTube. We're only a couple away from our own
URL.
Good
point.
There we go.
100%. Yeah, we need a few more. We're real close to getting our own custom URL, so it's not, youtube.com/U capital X lowercase L A 332. You know what I mean? Like, to make it a custom,
Carry
we
the
need a
one.
few more than we got. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's Steiner math.
Yeah, you can mute the notification. Just subscribe. That'll help us a lot.
Make bots, whatever you got to do. We just need that number up a bit. But Evolution, I'm actually excited about it in general. I think that there is a lot of people who think that she's going to be as bad as she's ever been in wrestling because that was the deal. That's why she had such a hard time before. She was not good at wrestling. I think she's been gone for so long and has so much to prove. Part of me really hopes she gets in there and fucking like Drew Gulak, Cesaro catch can some shit and fucking really blow people away. But I do think there's every possibility she comes out there and you're like, oh, she's still okay-ish, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you think about
it? I
that?
hope... Like, I didn't see this one. This one was cut out from... Her promo was cut out from what I watched. But...
Yeah.
I want, like... I remember how bad she was and, her couple vignettes that they showed looks like she's training, but you can, what's the saying go? You can shine up some dog shit to make it look nice. Like, I want her to perform.
It's true.
I think it's polish a turd, but that works too.
Well,
No, you can shoe shine a
whatever.
dog shit. You can shoe shine a dog shit for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You take a little floor wax, a little turtle wax on a little turd. Turtle wax? Turtle wax?
Turtle. But, I just...
I'm sorry. We have to wait a minute because Marsha's over here dying.
Get it, dude?
I get the turtle.
Turtle?
Yes, we get the pun. Let's get back to what we were talking about.
IIRonics!
I thought you got mad at him because he shit himself again.
He's about to. He's
I've been sitting
trying
in
to
it.
wrap this up.
I'm not trying to wrap it up. Trying to flow over. Bishop does say he bet she doesn't wrestle for at least 6 months, if not Mania. I wonder, man. Fabchina says, I hope she proves everybody wrong. I'm down the middle, man. What do you think? What do you think about this shoe-shined poop?
The shit can. Dog shit. Poop. I want her to perform. I want her to, show that she's an athlete and show that she's, capable of things. We talked about it way long ago in episode 1 that
right.
The women's division is starting to feel more and more like the Attitude. The way Carmella comes out now, the way Power and Glory, Dana and Mandy are starting to look. Yeah. They're leaning a lot more on their looks and not their abilities. Yeah. And now with Eva, who was the epitome of all of that, is coming back. Like I like the women to perform and be athletes and be, the superstars that they are. I don't want, the Attitude Era of just, hey, I'm tits and ass. Here I am.
So
I'm not complaining, but I want to see some wrestling.
Producer here. So I kind of have a theory. See what you think of it, Kev. That what if at some point before the end of the year, Becky comes back, and what if the heels of this new storyline, if you will, are these, if you call them attitude-ish women,
the pinups,
versus the fully athletic, strong women who are now main eventing. What do you think of that?
Yeah, if we're clearly not going to get 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen, dude, I don't know if you caught what I just said, but it was a slip of the tongue for sure.
The 4 horsemen versus the 4 horsewomen.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, but it's like if we're not gonna get the 4 horsewomen against the other 4 horsewomen of MMA, maybe get the 4 horsewomen against the 4 horsewomen is what I was kind of saying. But I'm saying the divas.
Come on.
You end up with like divas versus like
Shine with that turtle wax. It's similar.
Turtle. Am I not turtly enough for your turtle club?
Turtle.
Just as it feels like way too many steps back for the women's division. Take says Divas versus Evolution. What do you think, Kev?
I mean, I think that'd be interesting. It'd be cool. That'd be a great Survivor Series. Like if you lead it up to pinups versus athletes, cool. Let's do it. But I also think it's a one-sided fight at that point.
Yeah. Well,
you got
necessarily.
I'm not saying like when they go to a fight. I'm just saying, you look at the athletes and they're athletes, and you look at the pinups and there's only like 4 or 5 of them, and the rest of the roster are the athletes.
Right. But if you have the pinups as it were, if Eva comes in and she's actually very good, that'll be one thing. But if she's teamed up with like Mandy and Dana and Carmella, they are all very much into how they look as part of their presentation. They're also very good in the ring. They could have believably competitive matches with, you know, the likes of Becky and Bayley in them, you know?
I understand that, but what I'm saying by a one-sided fight is they will be outnumbered.
Oh.
You would have the Beckys, the Baileys, the Sashas, the Nias, the what's her name? Shayna, you know, Bianca. Like, there's more athletes at this point than there are just straight pinups.
Right, but not everyone's going to give a shit, right? You would just have some women not involved at all.
Well, 100%. But if the angle's just pinups versus athletes, you know, maybe you have a tryout for the athletes. The other one is, you know, like I said, if it's Survivor Series, we've only named 4 pinups. Who's the 5th one?
You could have
Tori Wilson come back.
The Bellas.
Exactly.
The Bellas said they want to come back, and they even said when they were here for Evolution back in, I believe it was 2018, that they thought that calling divas was a good thing. You know what I mean? And they had that whole argument with Becky and them.
But the problem with that is that they're neither pinups nor athletes.
No, but they're divas. It would basically be the divas versus the Evolution. You know what I mean? Like, is it a step back or a step forward? Is it empowerment or is it objectification? Like, you'd have that kind of words battle back and forth. And you wouldn't need everybody involved. You just need people who are passionately against what the Divas era was versus people who are passionately for what Divas can mean to them and the empowerment thereof. And you would have some woman who just goes, look, I'm just here to do what I do. I'm not concerned about it. Like, Alexa wouldn't be involved. Shayna likely wouldn't give a shit. Shayna Baszler's the type of character to be like, here, I'm just here to break faces. I don't care what you guys do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but, you know, jumping forward, you know, say it's a Survivor Series. How great if that's the return of Ronda.
Yeah. That'd be awesome if Ronda showed up and was all like, hey, I didn't. And, I mean, then you have a little bit of tension on the same team, right? I didn't take the women all the way to WrestleMania main event for you women to come back here and drag us back to the front of the show and have Becky be like, that wasn't all you. And be like, we'll get to that. You know what I mean? Like, you could even have a little bit of rumblings in there.
Charlotte would be on the pinup side.
Well, then you'd have Charlotte there being like, I'm here too. And then Vince McMahon would be there and be like, Charlotte Flair. And everyone would be all like, shut up. Becky and Ronda are talking.
She's her own team.
Yeah.
Charlotte's her own team. You have to eliminate her 5 times.
Yeah, and she would win. Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good point.
The 5-time survivor, Charlotte Flair.
Yeah. Sole survivor and 5-time winner. 190-time champion. Been doing this for 25 years. 40 years in. I'm like, what? Yeah, listening to Charlotte's numbers go up and her stats is Steiner math. Steiner's on the payroll at this point, but
100%.
I don't know. I do think it's interesting. I do think it'd be fun. I am very curious about the Eva thing. I think the evolution thing could go horribly wrong. It could be incredible, and I'm here for every step of the way. And I really liked this last vignette, so I'll find it on YouTube and send it to you just so you can see it. I liked the way she was talking in it. I was like, I like this. This could be something. It also could end up being absolute garbage, and we could have wasted our time talking about it. We will find out as it plays through.
Just in time in the chat saying Marsha's Vince saying Charlotte Flair is so accurate.
Yeah. That's my Vince. Everyone does the you're fired. I do not. I do the Charlotte Flair. And it was a goddamn pal and that's such good shit. Never for me. For me, it's always Charlotte Flair. That's all I hear him say. Kev, what do you think of this Mansoor and Ali stuff? I love this. Mansoor being tested by Ali. Ali being a little bit smart. Like smart ass, kind of like a little bit smarter than Mansoor, being like, well played. You know what I mean? Like he's coming off a little bit like
to me, it's like a KG vet.
Ali looked all Hurt Business to me. He looked all GQ.
Oh, yeah. I love him in the suits. And his hair not pulled back but down. I was like, whew, I should grow my hair back out.
No.
Hold on, I gotta step away for just a sec.
Why did he step away when I pitched him the question? I was like, "What do you think about this?" He goes, "Be right back."
All right. Well, what did you think of it?
So Kev said he liked it as like a cagey vet. I agree. I really like that. The idea that he tells Mansoor, and you can't assume that everyone's going to play by the same rules you do. That's not how this works. I like when Mansoor's saying the stuff like, "How do I know I can trust you?" And Ali's like, "Exactly." Like, I love the idea that Mansoor's trying to retort Ali, saying, "I don't trust you. I don't know that you're a good person." And Ali's saying, "That's the mentality you need to live in." And he's trying to coach him with a wall between them. I think it's so cool, so clever. I just love the idea of it. I like the pairing of it. I like the idea of Mansoor potentially bringing in Mansoor, or Ali bringing in Mansoor, because, I mean, Mansoor hasn't been pinned or submitted in 54 matches. All 54 matches he's had with WWE, he hasn't lost by pin or submission on his own. He did. Something happened with his match with Sheamus. I forget what it was. It was a DQ or something. But at the end of the day, they've got high hopes for Mansoor, and they want to do big things with him. And I love this pairing that Ali has with Mansoor, especially because the character of Ali just lost his faction of Retribution. So he tried to mentor young talent before, and it didn't go well. So now maybe he's taking a different route of a similar concept. I don't think that means we're going to get Mansoor in a mask. I don't think that means we're getting Mansoor with a new name. But I do think that it means we end up with Ali in another veteran-like status with a partner. Kev, what do you think about all that?
A less destructive Ali.
Less destructive.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything you just said. Like, I like it. I'm interested with what Ali's saying. Like, you know, like you said, hey, you know, watch him pulling the tights. Watch this, you know, like you said, the KG vet type of thing. He's more like a mentor at this point. And Mansoor's like, you know, how can I trust you? Yeah. And, you know, I'm curious to see where it goes. More so that I don't want them to put them as a tag team like they do a lot of times. But
yeah,
you know, I want to see Ali help Mansoor, almost like a Bobby and MVP type of thing.
Yes.
And I want him to help him. I was gonna say I want to see him help him, push him, so he strives for more.
I think that they could partner at times too. I think if you play it right, you could end up with like a Gable Otis kind of a thing, which wouldn't be bad either. But I do like the pairing of the two of them together. So I'm into it.
Yeah, the only problem I have with it is WWE just likes to put the same races together.
Yep. I thought that too. When I first saw them doing that, I was like, is this like a Middle East thing?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, maybe...
Are we getting ready for Crown Jewel 2021?
Right? It feels that way. I totally get what you're saying, and I think that there's an inherent psychological thing in everybody's mind where they see two people who look the same and think of them in a similar way. So when you see similarities between people, it always initially happens in a very visual aspect. If you take it down to a kind of a rudimentary sense, in prisons, the reason all the gangs are race related is because they've stripped away everything about their
identities,
their appearance. Otherwise, their identities have been stripped away. It's just all one color. Everyone's wearing the same clothes. Yeah. So people are only identifying with people who look like them immediately, which is race. And so I agree with you, and I don't want to think that that's initially what's going on, but when you look at teams like the Hurt Business, you think like I mean, just take Hurt Business. Like, I mean, just look at Hurt Business. You just grabbed 4 random black guys and put them together. On paper, it sounds shitty. Like, why? What do you mean? Why does it have to be 4 random black guys just thrown together? But at least they decided to put them together in a better way. At least they're like, hey, let's make sure if we put them on together, we make them strong, make them professional, make them classy, make them skilled, make sure they're not seen as lesser than, they're better than. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But see, that's what I've always said. Like, I wanted to see just a white guy in there with him. Like, break up the race. You know, to me, back in the day, seeing Owen Hart with the Nation of Domination was great.
It's huge.
Because I
said it was huge. It was great.
Yeah. Because back then they had, was it DOA? Wasn't that the white biker gang?
Yeah.
And then they had Nation of Domination, and then they had Savio Vega's crew. I forgot what they were called.
It's funny you mentioned that in prison, because in the military it's very similar.
What do you mean it's similar in prison or in? I mean, because
you see groupings. Like I experienced where I had some senior people be more favorable to me, and I didn't realize it, and then I was like, oh yeah, that's right, because we're of the same background, so you do see that, and they kind of, I mean, there's like jokes about it in the military, but it's a thing.
In prison, one of the things they mention is that one of the reasons why they do that, and I think that it's just a byproduct of, but is that during a riot, it's so chaotic that it's hard to know who your enemy is if they don't look immediately like you. So, but all that aside, I do think that there's potential for the pairing to be positive, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I hear what you say, and I don't disagree, because like you said, I agree. Owen Hart Nation Domination is what changed the Nation of Domination from being that Black Power, Black Panther-like group to being just a fantastic faction with incredible talent. Yeah.
Yeah, like, and I know it happens in society where
Los Boricuas. That was Savio Vega's name.
That's what it was. Yeah. But it happens in society where you gravitate towards somebody that looks like you. It's, I don't want to say it's natural, but that's what happens. But with today's society, like, we're trying to fight for everyone just being people. That's it.
Yeah.
So when it comes to wrestling, where you have control of it, I don't want to see it. Yeah. Like don't get me wrong. Like, I want to see Kofi at the forefront. I want to see Bobby up there as champion. It's great. I love it. Randy and Riddle doing their thing. But every time it's, when was the last time we saw a black and a white guy in a tag team?
I mean, once again, I think comes to mind, but
okay, APA. The first one that came to mind with me was actually Owen Hart and Coco Beware.
Yeah. And then between then, I think of APA, and then APA, outside of that,
100%.
I'm having a tough time. I'm not saying it's not there. I'm just saying I'm having a tough time.
Yeah, there was a long time when we had Dominic, Mysterio. It's like you got all the Latinos together.
Yeah, all of that. Or what was Kurt Angle's group had Shelton Benjamin in it, so maybe that. But I mean, like, it's rare, sporadic. It's all over the place. So I'm not gonna argue that. Justin Time says world's greatest tag team. Are you talking about Bailey and Sasha? That's weird.
No, well, there's Black and White.
She's not white.
Yeah, she's Hispanic, but
we have the same last name.
But
yeah. That's true. One of you're
but you're not grouping Bailey with Latinos. She hasn't, thrown her Latino
her identity's not that.
Yeah, I feel I mean, I guess I haven't watched all of her interviews, but I feel like that's been a thing that she's wanted to not completely identify.
Yeah, she doesn't want to get lost in the shuffle in that direction. That's not to say she's been whitewashed or anything like that. She just isn't identified as the Latina wrestler. I will say that all of this is to say that Just in Time is actually referring to a tag team that was called the World's Greatest Tag Team. I don't remember who's in that, and therefore I said Bayley and Sasha as a joke, but I liked that it continued the conversation.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
I agree with you.
The whole thing with wrestling, just like sports in general, is to escape reality and escape what's going on in today's society. Today's society is fucked, and I don't want to see the segregation of people. Like, I want to see the inclusive of, hey, there's a black guy, hey, there's a white guy. I'm not looking at that. I just want the athletes to be athletes and everyone to just do their thing. And
is it an escape, or hasn't it always kind of been a slight reflection of pop culture?
It's a little both. I'll say it's a little bit both, but I will say this: if you wanted all that, Kev, why didn't you love Retribution? That was easily the most diverse group.
I think that Retribution would just, it came in with a fucking bang, and then it was a fucking wet noodle after that.
I got you. No, you're right. But I'm saying, like, in general, Retribution was a flop. And what was it, if not just the most diverse faction we've ever seen in the history of WWE?
100%. But the problem with Retribution is they were fucking criminals.
Hey.
They were passionate.
I mean, they fucking tore down the set. They shit on fire.
Tomato.
Where's the big boss man when you need him?
Yes, that would be good. That would have been a great time to bring back the boss man. Just in time to say it's Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin were the world's greatest tag team. Team Angle, if you prefer. Yeah, that was the one I mentioned. But I mean, how long between years there too? I'm just saying. I'm agreeing with you. It is rare, and I am saying, like, I do think it's unfortunate. I will also say that as much as you say it's natural to go towards someone who looks like you in a lot of senses, and you said maybe it's not totally natural, maybe it is taught. Children do go make friends with other children because they're the same size. You know what I mean? Like, how many times do you see two kids at Walmart bump into each other and they're just being the best of friends ever, and they have nothing in common other than they're relatively the same height? You know what I mean? Like, you do see someone go, they're like me, we're friends. You know what I mean? Like, that is the nature of things. We're the same now. So, I mean, as you get, through progressing, you see more and more differences. I think at the very youngest of ages, you don't see a difference in skin color. You only see the likeness and height. And I do think that as you grow, you start to see the differences less than the similarities. But I digress.
And I think that's a society thing.
I agree.
The society pushes that on people, and I think that's,
I agree.
I whatever. I'm not, I don't want to get into race any more than we already have, but I don't judge people on their skin, but on how they present themselves.
No, I mean, I think it's also not a conversation you see a lot just in general on wrestling Twitter.
Yeah.
The conversation's good.
And the whole thing, like Marsh said, the Nation of Domination, they did the whole Black Panther fist in the air thing.
Yeah.
And then you have Owen Hart, the little nugget, doing his nugget things, and it was great.
Not a nugget. Yeah. Yeah, I agree, dude. I agree with all that. It is neat to see. I'm liking it so far. I think that it could always become more, but I guess we'll see what happens. Let's keep it rolling. We did have the return of Jeff Hardy versus Cedric Alexander. What
is that? That's like an angry porno.
All pornos are angry where I come from.
Okay, let's move on.
And Jeff Hardy got the win. Jeff Hardy won against Cedric Alexander. What do you think about this match, dude?
At first, I was so pissed because, Jeff Hardy came back, and I was like, great. And then they're like, oh, he's going up against Cedric Alexander, and I got pissed because I was like, fuck, Jeff Hardy's just going to be a jobber. And I was so upset. I was like, this is stupid. I don't agree with it. And then Jeff Hardy won, and I was like, cool. Give me a shot of that old crow.
I really enjoyed both of their promos.
Yeah. They both had great promos.
And I was getting real pissed. I was like, oh, you're talking shit on Hardy. I was getting so pissed.
Oh, yeah. Cedric did a great job in that one. I loved it. 100%. I will say that half of what Cedric said was stuff that Ali was saying on Raw Talk when Retribution was trying to get going, and they would never televise that shit. And I was like, well, just fucking put it on TV. And then they do it for Cedric. And I was like, God damn it. But
they had something else planned for
But seriously,
they did not.
I feel bad for Mia Yim and
Shane Thorne.
I have hope that they're gonna use them in something else.
Me too.
To break down catering. That's it.
Someone's got to take down those tables.
No, we don't know anything.
Nobody knows anything, but we know what we don't see.
We know we know a lot, and we know shit.
You know shit, but we love this. We love seeing Jeff win.
The win for Jeff was so good. I like that he put his finger guns right in Cedric's face while he's on the ground. So funny, dude.
Well, after he was taunting him, yeah. To me, it felt like the Stone Cold middle finger, but
me
the
too.
2021 version. Yeah,
for a second, I thought he did. I was like, he's fell up.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the Attitude Era I want back.
Yeah, middle fingers. On AEW, they put up middle fingers every week and teach you that it means nothing. So,
that's just because they're flipping off their talent and.
Dude, remember? You know how sometimes we'll go back when I'm over at your place and we'll watch old network stuff, and I'll be like, we'll watch something from 2001 and be like, man, remember when we thought the word bitch was just the coolest thing to say? What children we were. That's what it's like watching AEW right now. They say bitch, and they give the middle finger and expect everyone to go, ooh. And you're like, fucking relax.
Do they cover up their mouth when they say it? You bitch.
They expect the crowd to. Dude, they say it like they're trying. And then I calls them bitch. Like, you said that? You said that to your opponent? I did. I says, bitch. That's what it's like. It's fucking awesome. Either way, let's keep him moving.
I had such high hopes for AEW.
I know, man. It was going to be good. And then everyone got involved. But Jeff Hardy was awesome. I'm hoping, dude, I want Jeff Hardy to have one more big run. I do.
Yeah.
All right, good.
I want it.
I will say, if Drew McIntyre wins at Hell in a Cell, I want Jeff Hardy to beat him for the title. That's what I want. Kev?
Give me what I want!
Goddamn right. So good, so good. All right, the next matchup we had was Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley against Asuka and Nikki Cross. You know, the match wasn't bad when it comes to Rhea, Asuka, and Nikki. Charlotte is insufferable. I can't stand any moment of her on TV. I like Rhea patting Charlotte on the head like a puppy. That was a solid spot. Everything else with Charlotte I could have done without, and it was what it was. What do you think about this whole thing?
DeVille. You got to treat her like a puppy. Give her a Scooby snack and tell her to shut up and just do your job.
That is clever. What do you think of it?
I took a nap, so I don't know.
Perfect. No, that's probably the right move. Nikki and Asuka take a win. They dance on the table.
Just kidding.
Well,
yeah.
I was supporting you.
Oh. No, it was decent for what it was. You know, going into it, we knew it was just Charlotte versus Rhea. You knew it was going to implode. You know, it's like watching a Lakers game. You know LeBron's going to flop. It's not if, it's when.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is what it was. And Asuka and Nikki were giving tabletop lap dances.
Not 100%.
Yeah, not exactly.
That's what
do you think about this version of Nikki? I don't know, man. I'm so tossed on this Nikki right here. Like, She's in the best shape of her life. She's doing great in the ring. She's still weirdly giddy, but also halfway psychotic, and I need something to change, and I think it starts with the music's got to go back to anything else.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
I don't know
What was that? Did you drop something?
It must have been static.
That was not static.
Yeah, it was static.
Mic drop.
Your
Feedback.
butt just sneezed.
It was feedback.
God bless you. How rude, producer. When somebody sneezes, you say God bless you. Or gesundheit.
Good point. That's
Nope.
a good point.
Nope.
She didn't even hand me a cork. Rude.
No matter what orifice it comes from.
Yeah. Let's see. Alexa had a creepy fucking promo about Shayna. Wasn't with Shayna yet, so everybody just needs to calm down with that.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty good. Which I don't know. Alexa's just doing awesome stuff, but we'll talk about, I guess, more about Alexa as we go. But there was that, and then we had Mansoor versus Gulak, and Mansoor won. I liked it. It was a good match.
Yeah, it was a good match. It was, Ollie in the back. What happened? What are you gonna do when he tries to grab your tights? And then he did that, and it's like, all right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get you. I think I just need to see it play out more, but it wasn't bad by any means. I'm glad Gulak is still there. He's great.
Yeah.
Let's see. That was followed up by RK Bro in the back. So they're rocking their RK Bro merch. And Randy gave Matt Riddle back the key to his mouth so he could open his mouth. Then Matt Riddle spoke, and then
I love when he gave him the key, and then Riddle was like, acted like this is the first breath he took in 2 hours. He's like, thank you.
I hate you. I hate you so bad.
It's so good. I love it.
So you had an issue with some of the RK Bro merch, right?
It just, I wanted something else. I was expecting something else. One of the shirts is okay. Just the RKO with the Viper skull or Viper face, and then it's saying bro. But
did you like the sweater?
The one Randy was wearing?
Yeah.
I mean, no.
It had the snake face, and it has Matt Riddle's long hair with a baseball cap on.
Yeah, like the stallion, but with a snake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
No, I thought you'd like that one, or the snake on a scooter. I thought you'd get you'd like, because I feel like you like bad stuff, Kev.
No, remember what was that cartoon? It was like After Our Time, like Sanjay and Rich. I know those are the radio guys. Sanjay and something.
No, I don't know.
Well, no. Well, let me talk. Let me speak. Let me speak my piece. It was like Sanjay and something, and it was about this guy and his pet snake, and they, went on these little adventures. That's what that stupid shirt reminded me of. I'm probably not on Googler.
Yeah, Googler it.
It's Sanjay and something.
I believe you.
Sanjay and Craig.
Craig.
Yeah, look at it. Like that's what that shirt reminds me.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I'm gonna be honest. That did lead into the Matt Riddle versus Kofi match with Randy Orton ringside. Kofi got the win. I don't know, man. I liked the match. I thought it was pretty solid. I liked the interference with Randy and Xavier Woods. I think that RK Bro is pretty solid. I could use with a little bit less. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like that backstage segment went just barely too long. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, I could have shaved 10 seconds off this. I probably would have liked it more. You know what I mean? But, it's not bad for what it is.
I loved every single second of it.
I'm going to get you all the shirts you hate.
Like the IIRonics? Thanks.
Hey. See, I got a track record already.
Yeah. You're 1-0 so far.
Yeah. Anything you want to say about that other than Randy Orton being disappointed at Matt Riddle? Do you think they're going to break up this team already?
No. I hope not, but WWE has a track history of breaking up tag teams before it's their time.
What do you mean? That's almost never happened.
Never.
Almost never.
What was it?
Kuro coming
Blue
through.
collar
Cheers to Kuro. Thanks for coming through and hanging out, man.
Cheers, Kuro.
Well, Kev, if you got nothing else to say about the King of Bros, that does bring us to the last segment, which was the Shayna Baszler on the playground of Alexa. She comes out. She knocks over the wooden horse. Alexa's like, the fuck your problem is, goddamn. They say a couple things here and there. Bitch. I did like that they got physical. I liked that Shayna and Alexa were punching each other. I liked that Alexa went for that punch that used to knock out people, and it shook Shayna, but didn't knock her out. And then Shayna throws Alexa out of the ring. Shayna then throws Lily on the ground and then stomps on Lily, and boom, that's when all hell breaks loose. Fire, all the fire everywhere. They go backstage, things are falling, nobody's there. Corey Graves is like, where is everybody? Shayna Baszler gets into a room that she locks herself in. She looks into a mirror. She sees Lily in the reflection. She turns around, no Lily. Turns back to the mirror, there's Lily. Turns around, there's no Lily. Turns back around, there's Lily. So she kicks the fucking mirror like an idiot. Everything was fine until then.
Luck.
Now, 7 years bad luck. What are you going to do now? What? You thought last year was bad. Well, now you got broken luck.
Yeah. Imagine doing 7 years of 2020.
That sounds like Miro. Kev, internet was a flutter about this one. What did you think of this ending segment here with Alexa, Shayna, Lily, mirrors, fire, rooms, darkness? Go.
I liked it. It was, it proved that Lily's just an entity. Not just a stupid doll, if you will. The only thing I was hoping for was when Shayna looked in the mirror, saw Lily, turned around, there's no one. I wanted her to turn back around and there's Lily and Alexa.
Ooh.
And then being like, whoa, what the fuck? Turning around, there's nothing. Turning around, and even if it's just Lily at that point, then kicking the fucking mirror and ruining your career forever.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a problem with it, but I understand why people do. Because I will say there's a lot of goofy shit that happens nowadays and a lot of supernatural stuff, and there's a whole lot of, is this wrestling or is this Hollywood, I personally enjoy this because, especially on a show like Raw, it is a nice breath of something different during a 3-hour show. And it does show a different side of Shayna than we've seen, because I had the Shayna Nia thing that happened, and Shayna's trying to look like a badass. Go ahead.
The only thing I don't like about that is I don't like how all of a sudden Shayna and Nia are like this cohesive unit.
Oh my god. Everything about Shayna and
Nia
is garbage.
But, yeah, they've had their problems throughout their tag team career, and now all of a sudden it's like, don't, I'm trying to warn you, Alexa's dangerous. Mm-hmm. That to me was fucking stupid.
Gee golly, Shayna, you're in some real danger. Yeah. That's what Nia sounds like to me. That's what's happening.
She's gonna start barking at the screen and be like, oh my god, she's in a well. Somebody save her.
But I get all that. I get the criticism in that regard, but when people start trying to talk about how stupid it is or how awful it is, I'm not here for any of that, because To be honest, I'm not into horror movies in general, but I like this stuff. I like the stuff with Fiend. I like the stuff with Alexa. It's been an interesting take during, especially during a time where we have the ability. This is one more of those things where it's like you can only do this so many more times. Go ahead, Kev.
Yes, and to me, it's not horror; it's suspenseful.
Okay.
You know, and I agree, and this is where, you know, how we had to drop the F and become the E is that we're now World Wrestling Entertainment, and this is entertaining. Soak it up for what it is, and either enjoy it or don't, and move on.
Yeah.
People are losing their mind about this shit, and it's fucking stupid. They're entertaining. Yeah. It's no different than a cliffhanger on every other fucking TV show, and that's all it is. It's a TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 911, they have the best cliffhangers.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's, and I do also understand the idea of people saying that if they're not entertained by it, that's fine. There's so much stuff on AEW that does not entertain me, which is why I don't watch it. If you turn on Raw or SmackDown and you say this is unwatchable, then turn it off. I have no time or patience for all the fucking quotation mark journalists who say if it wasn't because of my job, I wouldn't watch it. No. Nobody is paying anybody to watch this. Nobody is listening to a podcast and saying, well, if they didn't review Raw, I'd stop paying altogether. No, if you don't like it, don't watch it. Don't talk about it. We do the same thing here. I don't watch AEW anymore. So now I have two other people who watch it, and I just sit along while they talk about it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, two other people that also like that, a lot of the stuff in it.
Yeah, they prefer that style. They prefer those wrestlers, the talent.
And once again, that's fine. Like, you know, everyone has their own taste. You know, while somebody was watching Friends, other people were watching Melrose Place or 90210 or whatever. Fuck shows were popular. Seinfeld was terrible. It's always been terrible. But that's your point of view. I hate Seinfeld. You love it. Now. That's fine. Mute me. But everyone has their own taste. If you don't like what the fuck Alexa and the Fiend are doing, go watch Orange Cassidy put his hands in his pockets. You know, whatever you enjoy, that's fine. But, you know, just like today's society in general, like, we're not enemies. We're all just trying to enjoy it and have a good time.
No, you're
This is what I like. You don't like it? Well, that's fine, because Seinfeld's terrible. Absolutely terrible.
No, Ask Big E is his favorite show, too. Yeah.
Who? Ask McGee.
Big E Heat.
Oh, Big E? Yeah. Well, Ask McGee is ass. Because
that's just it.
It's a terrible show.
But the idea is that like, hey, if you
no
don't
one
like
cuts
it, that's
their
fine.
fucking
Don't watch
Snickers with a fucking knife and fork.
That's a good goddamn point. That's never fucking happened.
Stupid. Let's be realistic. Stupid. That's Orange Cassidy sticking his hands in his pockets during a wrestling match, saying, "No soup for you." Yeah.
Okay, we don't have to try to mesh these worlds together.
No, I like it. I'm going to draw Soup Nazi and Orange Cassidy. That's
They're nothing like each other.
I'm just saying AEW is the Seinfeld of today. There's a lot of people that like
it. And bullshit.
For no fucking reason.
Bullshit.
Not entertaining. I mean, everyone's on their horse. Go ahead. Enjoy what you like. That's fine.
I will say AEW is definitely a show about nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, one is funny though.
But
and then
I think 100%
is Seinfeld.
Kev, you guys see what I have to put up with? I don't get paid for this.
But I think like if you don't like something, turn it off. And here's the deal: is the other thing you don't need to do. Here's the thing to all your quotation mark journalists out there. No one gives a fuck if you don't like it.
Exactly.
People do want to know what you do like. What I still listen to Jim Cornette's podcast, not because of when he shits on stuff, but because of when he says how stuff was good. I'm more interested, and I don't think I'm alone, in the things that people like. What makes you like it? I don't give too many shits on why you don't like something. because I feel like a lot of this is personal taste. But when you really like something and you talk about why you like it, that's interesting to me. Oh, I want to see your side of it if you like something. If you don't like it, it's really easy because most people just go, I don't like it because it sucks. Okay, you don't like it because you don't like it. You have no reason. You just don't, which is fine. But I'm more interested in people who talk about the things they like about than the things they don't. That's what we try to do here is we'll talk about the stuff if we think it's not good or bad. We try to keep it moving. But at the end of the day, we're just a couple buddies who like to drink once a week and talk about wrestling and say, dude, what was your favorite parts? You know what I mean?
Yep. 100, as kids say.
Yeah, hundreds.
100.
What is that? What does that Drake guy say? And another one. And another
That's DJ
one.
Khaled.
Dude, I don't know the difference.
Not
I don't know
much.
if there is a difference.
One's a DJ, the other one's from Canada.
I think that's the same thing. If I had to venture a guess, there's no difference. All DJs are from Canada, and all the
one was a
Canadians are
cripple
DJs.
on Degrassi.
Oh yeah, that was Johnny Depp, right?
No, that was Drake.
Well, sometimes we talk pop culture. We get into it.
She's just upset that I shat on Seinfeld and had a.
She's really pissed about that, dude. She's writing
I know
notes right
she
now.
is.
I've never seen her scribble so fast.
Guys, this is my last sign off. Cheers.
It's been a good run.
Yeah.
I made it all the way through one episode.
Yeah. All these episode ones.
Probably hate Frasier too.
I mean, it was
Yeah.
okay. Better than Seinfeld, but it still kind of sucked.
You hate everything smart.
Now that's hard to argue. I'm gonna be honest on that one. Just as a statement
not
alone, that's
true
hard
at
to
all.
argue.
Thank you.
That's not true at all. I watch Big Bang Theory.
That's how I know science so good.
Exactly.
That
the
was
point.
straight. That was straight towards Marsh right there.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's hit the chat before we wrap it up tonight, guys. Bishop came back. Fab says Bruce Slater's going to end the show because of Kev. And he says, if I didn't get canceled, no one gets canceled. I feel like there's a reference there, too. But 100%. Guys, I mean, at the end of the day, let's all fucking take a step back. Let's all relax. Let's all understand what we're doing here. We all love a type of TV so fucking much that it's what we want to talk about for hours, which is the whole premise of this show. You and I would call each other every morning on the way to work and every morning on the way home, or afternoon or evening, whatever, just to talk about wrestling. And I was like, did you see the segment? No, well, call me back when you do. Okay. We like talking about wrestling so much that we said, hey, what if we just schedule a couple hours once a week for us to just fucking hash it all out? It's been the most fun. This is what's gotten me through the pandemic. I don't know about you, but the pandemic would have seemed real stressful if it wasn't for the fact that we got to hang out once a week, every week, and just talk wrestling.
Yeah,
People
I mean,
getting
it could have been
heated.
worse.
Could have been worse. People getting heated, people taking things personal, people thinking they're bigger than they are. Be grateful for any wrestler who shows up on your podcast and gives you the time of day. And don't think they owe you
100%.
anything. And don't think that you're providing them anything. Every single wrestler on the planet has more followers than you as a podcast. I guarantee you that. You're not doing them anything. You're giving them a tape recorder and playing it out. They could do the same thing on a FaceTime. You know what I mean? They could do it on TikTok. They're choosing you this time. Be grateful, be respectful, and be happy that it happened. Now, as far as us, we're just a couple of drunk dudes who like to talk wrestling and drink and hang out once a week. So,
Yep.
Kev, anything else you want to say?
Yeah, Dexter sucks too. Good night.
Oof.
Yeah, definitely Kevlar's last show.
He all stands up and bows and everything.
You hate everything I love.
Yeah, little roses flying at him from the side.
Going out in a blaze of glory. Unlike
Yeah.
Vampire Diaries.
What the hell?
It fizzled out. No. But, guys, if you want to support us, buy yourself a bag of coffee If you've ever had coffee and you've ever liked it, you're going to like this coffee. I'm going to be honest with you. Like I said before, I tried it and then reached out and said, I want to be a part of this conversation. This coffee is so good. So go to newwave.co, NOOWAVE.co. Order your cup of coffee, your bag, your subscription, shirts, and mugs, all of which now, including subscriptions, get an additional 10% off of their already ongoing sale if you add the promo code CHEERS. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Also, Pro Wrestling for Life, the podcast with Sean X-Pac Waltman. Supporting that show does support our show. I do work for them at this point. I'm editing for them this week. There is behind the Patreon wall a video of me getting the opportunity to sit down with Jimmy Corderas, ref of 20 plus years in WWF, WWE respectively, and Sean X-Pac Waltman, along with Nick Houseman from Wrestling Inc., to just talk ref stuff. Really cool, really fun opportunity to get to do that. So I would highly suggest jumping into the Patreon and getting a chance to watch along with that. Guys, we appreciate you just coming through and having a drink with us. Am I right, Kev?
Yes, sir.
At the end of the day, we're all big wrestling fans. We just like talk wrestling. Hey, sometimes we get heated about it. We talk about hating stuff. You can't hate something if you don't love it so goddamn much, and that's us, right?
No. I hate Seinfeld. I don't love it at all.
That's probably true.
I'm just kidding. True. I'm just trying to grind producers' gears. I got her up against the ropes, going for the knockouts.
Kevlar's winding her up. Prove me wrong.
Mm-hmm. That's supposed to be his Pete Dunne impression because I like Pete Dunne. So
prove me wrong.
Again, you guys see what I have to put up with.
Nothing. There's nothing wrong with Pete Dunne. Prove me wrong. Just in time. Our side of the IWC. That is correct. Our side of the IWC. This is the last call for the dive bar of the IWC. Guys, we are at Wrestling on the Rocks on Instagram, at WOTR the show. I'm at Ref Marsh. That's Kevlar on the Rocks, as always, with an X.
With an X.
Guys, we'll be back on Thursday for one more episode 1. That's last call, guys.
Not me. I'm done forever. Good night. Nice knowing ya.
Hey, producer lady here. Thanks for tuning in. Continue to support us or buy us a drink by following and putting the I in subscribe on Twitch. Or subscribe and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Cheers!
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.